Blessed is the man that
If you never dated a Latina, do not advise me in relationships, nigga. Latinas are different. If you never dated a Latina, you never had a Latina in your life, stop talking to me about, yo, you should do this, because this is what girls like. You never dated a Latina, nigga. Stop advising me at any type of relationship I want to have with a Latina, nigga.
God, look at your creation. He's healing. He's making peace with his trauma. He's doing so good.
Good. Very good.
We really saved this guy's life.
Send him a big booty goth girl.
What?
Give her 5,000 followers and a love for anime.
But God, that would kill him.
Make sure she has daddy issues. No, mommy issues. Now that's interesting.
He can't handle that right now. He's in a fragile, delicate place.
I give my hardest battles to my strongest soldiers. Make her Latina, her dad bald.
He's mixing formulas. What is he planning on doing with this guy?
I want her on my desk by tomorrow morning.
Perhaps a nature girl with locks and a love for astrology?
How about light skin with red angel number tattoos? No, I want him to suffer.
This is unethical. What is your plan?
He needs to suffer. His get back will be glorious. Put vacations in her IG highlights.
No!
Dubai, Venice, Morocco.
Stop!
More! More!
The only way to get lean is to take Ozempic or Retta. This is not a psyop. I let Big Pharma decide what I take for my health. You must listen to Big Pharma. They know what's best for me and my genetics. That's why they fund the FDA. It's for our safety. Yay! This reel was approved by the FDA.
Okay, I'm about to start my first stream. How's it going, everybody? Oh, Okay, I'm getting swatted. They're coming in my home from top left window. Nice. Oh, they shot my dog. Okay, my childhood dog is dead. Okay, now I'm in prison. I'm rolling with the crew now. Nice. They asked me to hide a blunt object in my asshole. Okay. Alright, I'm moving up in rank. Nice. Just did my first hit. Okay, I'm in a prison riot. Nice. Okay, I've acquired a high level of respect from the OGs. Okay, they released me after years of solitary confinement. Oh, I'm getting a phone call from the inside. Okay, the shot caller just threatened to kill my family. Nice. I'm purposely going back into prison. I'm back in prison. I took out the boss. Nice. Okay, I am now the boss. This is my life now. GG's.
That nigga who had the slightest inclination to vote for Mondami, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. You sick. Mondami had a celebration down in City Hall of all the immigrants, all the Muslims, all the immigrants down there. No niggas. Here's a man that hates the Constitution and that which makes us Americans. He's a Muslim, for crying out loud. He's a jihadist at core. His wife is a lesbo jihadist, Hamas supporter, intifada believer. Here you nigga talking about Mondami gonna give us a free bus ride. Hell, it doesn't matter if they're handing out free sandwiches in hell, I ain't going. Nigga, are you crazy? You get a free bus ride. Don't get a free bus. Get your ass a job. Get a job, nigga. Go to work. Free bus ride. I always want something free. Well, he's our boy. All you gotta say to get a nigga is say, we got free food. And that nigga's talking, we got free grocery stores. You should have seen the niggas jumping up and down. Won't work, don't got a job, can't hold a job, ain't got no money, don't have no security.
I knew a motherfucker who was so ass at trading that this nigga became good at trading from literally doing the opposite of what the fuck he was gonna do, gang. That's how shitty that nigga was at trading. That every decision that nigga made, the stock literally did the opposite every single time. And so what this nigga started to do was literally, instead of him going with his first thought, he would do the opposite of what his first thought was, and that nigga would hit every time, gang. That's how that nigga became profitable, bro. I swear to God, bro. Think about it, gang. So that nigga literally became profitable from sucking ass at trading. Bro, I swear to God, bro, I'm not trolling, gang. I'm dead ass, bro. That nigga just had the worst luck in the market, bro. So what he started to do was, if his first thought was calls, that nigga would play a put and hit on that bitch, bro. That nigga ran it up off that shit, bro. I swear to God, to this day. To this day, bro, that nigga is a beast at trading from sucking ass, bro.
This is your song, thank you. Slaves. Thank you. Slaves. Thank you. Slaves. Slaves. This is your song, thank you.
I really think XRP could hit $10,000.
XRP definitely could hit $10,000. BlackRock is about to buy $9 trillion worth of XRP.
That's insane. Soulface, what do you think, bro?
Oh yeah, definitely 1,000%. XRP is about to hit $10,000, especially because of them going after the Swift banking system.
Okay, Kay, what do you think, bro?
Without a doubt, XRP to 10 bands, and the reason is XRP has intrinsic value. Bitcoin doesn't.
Okay, Mark, what do you think?
XRP $10,000? No question.
Okay, cool. Luke, what do you think?
Absolutely. Wisdom Tree just recently filed an ETF. It's going to go berserk.
Okay, cool. Sage, what do you think, bro?
I think XRP could 100% hit $10,000 simply if they just take over the Swift banking system, which will put their market cap well over 1.2 quadrillion.
Broski, the market is so red, I thought my MacBook was bleeding.
This is the end, cuz.
Yesterday I was a millionaire, today I'm a slumdog. This is not a dip, this is a black hole. I'm selling everything, I'm
They
down.
have no idea. This is not a black hole. This is the beginning of a big bang.
Why is Broski not panicking with us?
Yeah, why is he so unfazed? Have you checked your wallet, cuz?
The crypto is down 85%.
Allow him, broski, he's still in denial.
Is it down by 85%? Or is it 85% off?
Oh shit. No, gang, not the hustler mindset.
Not the hustler mindset.
Bro said it's not a
you
crash,
can't
it's a
change the
discount. Circumstances, but you can change your mentality.
Remember, brothers, the market sends his toughest battles to his most financially literate soldiers. When the Nasdaq falls, will you give up? Or remember that no amount of setbacks defeat a qualified mind? You see a dip and start to sell, but I remember that sudden emotions lack logic. Down isn't permanent. So I invest more into the S&P because I was born to struggle and persist.
Nah, man, them. How does he do this guy knows something. Broski, was you in the board meeting with Donald Trump?
So tell me, brothers, when the crops go dry, will you sell your land or sow more seeds, knowing that the harvest will always return?
He's really got that hustler mindset. Bro's got that JP Morgan mentality. That's that quarter-zip discipline, cuz.
Pure.
I think your fans are gonna love this.
No, they are. They are, because they don't get to see me like this all the time.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled ain't fat no
You know
more.
what I'm saying? I told you in the studio, this the no filter Cal. They think this shit is normal. It's not. It takes a lot of hard work. So I decided, you know what I mean? Okay.
No, he ain't hitting the grocery store.
They don't believe in us, huh? God did.
Nobody knows about that fucking degenerate life when you're fucking down 40,000 and you battle the fuck back. You say, you know what? You know what? I'm a fucking strong, independent man. And you're not gonna tell me I should go to bed. I'm gonna battle the fuck back. And I'm gonna fucking get my money back. And guess what? I got my motherfucking money back. That's right.
Asset. Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best. Okay. But take all your money, buy Bitcoin, then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin, then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business that's in your family for 37 years and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth.
And boom, we are live. Welcome to the FOMC meeting breakdown. Finally, it's here. Whole lot of red, whole lot of nothing.
There's some good intraday volatility
Yeah.
On Bitcoin and other assets and stuff like that. But yeah, not a huge crazy change. I think Ethereum's still above 1900. Bitcoin's holding it as much as it can onto 64,000.
Right.
If you can maintain 64,000, it'll hold up, but where it needs to start going below basically about 62,500 to get like some force to the downside, because it's dropped a couple times in the last few days, but it hasn't pushed down much.
But in the most breaking, most important news of the day, Hex is up 20%.
Yay! Where's the
Hey, and the Cooperacha. But hey, it's continuing its rally right now, which is great. Fucking finally, something.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Something, man.
Yeah, because like the first pump off the bottom that it had like yesterday or a couple days ago. Basically was all sold off.
Yeah.
But then that got bought back up again. So like the first time it got sold off, I'm like, typical, the Jeet's Jeeting and then pushing down price further. But now that this is the case, I think it actually could sustain. But now watch Bitcoin just fucking dumps to like $56,000. And then like, well, nothing's gonna survive that anyway.
Right.
But we shall see.
We shall see, you guys. But you know, so just for people who are watching for that Fomc meeting, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, go follow me on Twitter. I posted this earlier, but there was no cut. So they decided to keep rates exactly where they were. And the 2-year and the 30-year treasury decided to go like vertical like this, basically. So we shall see. But the 30-year treasury hasn't been this high since 2008.
That's a fateful year.
You know what also happened yesterday, Charlie? 5% of the total population of South Korea was liquidated yesterday.
Oh yeah, you told me that today. That's wild, bro. 5%. That's a lot. That's a big percent.
It's a big percent. So 5% were liquidated. An additional 5% were margin called. Let me. What is it, like 10 Koreans? But it is not good right now to be South Korean right now. It is probably a great time to go visit.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Japan's currency itself is probably one of the worst rates to the dollar ever. So you go there and have a great vacation.
Kyle, can you look
Korea
up
as well.
the total population of South Korea?
Yeah. My guess is
25 people, but it could be 30.
40 million.
All right. 40 million. Yeah, you're probably right. 50, wow, a little bit more than I thought.
51.6 million.
Okay.
So basically, if my math is correct here, 2.5 or basically 2.6 million people were liquidated yesterday. And an additional, so basically 5 million people were affected yesterday.
That's more than the population of Las Vegas. Las Vegas, I think, is a little bit over 3.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing they could do here is you lose at the craps table, but Jesus, bro.
Get everybody in town to go to the craps table at the same time.
But for people who don't know what's been going on in South Korea, so I mean, I talked about it a little bit that their market was down kind of earlier in the year on an earlier stream, but it wasn't down that much just yet. It was just kept having these crazy days. Their year to date down 45%. So like their version of the S&P 500 is down 45%.
And Bitcoin's down what? Only 50? So
and they say crypto's dangerous. No,
yeah, exactly, right. Banks and governments that allow you to put too much leverage in your system are dangerous, right?
Yeah. So one of the reasons why so basically because of these massive liquidity events in South Korea, they're like circuit breaking their stock market and they're holding emergency like economic meetings right now. And they've been selling US treasuries off. So have the Chinese and the Japanese as well. They've been selling U.S. treasuries a lot, and actually, I think our largest holder of U.S. foreign debt is Japan. So Japan holds the most outside of just our own citizens, basically.
Yeah.
So they've been selling because they need dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, oofa.
Yeah.
Oofa. And we know why the Japanese ones started off is because the carry trade and basically basically people would go to Japanese banks, borrow money, and then yield farm here in the United States or their own stock market because the money was basically free. And at one point in Japan, they were paying you to they had negative rates. So they're like, hey, we'll give you money to loan, which basically ends up being like the bank charges 0, but essentially you're still going to pay something like 1 or 2%. But then they're like, since the rates are negative 25 basis points, we're going to take 25 basis points off of the other bank's payment. So like instead of paying 2%, Charlotte, you're paying 1.75.
Hey, bad.
Not bad. So Miss Tanaka.
I think you're talking to Korea, right?
No, I'm just talking about all these Asians.
Yeah. You gotta put the right inflection on it. You know what I mean?
Right. So how do you do the South Korean ones?
The South Korean one's more like a Kwon. KWON versus Tanaka would be Japanese, and a Chinese would be
Chang.
Yeah,
Ching.
those are the ones you can get the most racist with if you're gonna go that direction, right?
Like Ching Chang Chun.
Yeah,
all those are last names.
Sounds actually accurate, but
well, Miguel, I just looked it up. The top 20 last names in China are all those names you just said. They're all on the list.
Yeah, what is the most common Chinese name? I wonder.
Yeah, and last names in China.
I wonder what the top one is.
Wang
Li
Zhang.
I told you. Wang Li
Lu Chang Chin.
Li Zhang, Lu Chen, Yang,
Ma.
Huang,
Zhao.
Zhao, Wu.
Hey, we know it, Zhao.
Ling. So I was right.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Chinese does sound like that.
Yeah.
I want to find Korean.
That's great. Yeah, do Korea. Let me see Korea, man. I mean, you gotta be advancing this racism, bro. You gotta like. All right, let's see. Lee for sure is in here. Kim Lee Park.
I would say Korean's a lot easier to pronounce.
Kang, Cho,
Kang,
Yang Lin, Han, Song. Yeah, all these are about right.
Yeah, a lot easier to pronounce.
See
for
Japan.
Sure.
I gotta see Japan now. We gotta.
Japan has that consonant vowel kick in it,
Jamaica. It's on Jamaica.
Sato,
Suzuki, Takahashi. So you have a lot more dun 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 sounds.
Watanabe. Where's Tanaka?
Watanabe.
Yoshiro.
Nakamura.
Yeah, you can also say him cooler with a samurai accent.
Yeah, with the accent. So. I remember Scared Movie when he just kept saying fucking Japanese brand names.
Oh yeah,
talking Japanese.
Kawasaki, Toyota, Honda.
Subaru. So Asia's kind of in some trouble right now. Like there's some shit shaking down.
And those are the rich countries in Asia.
Yeah, dude. And it's
just think. I mean, what in Southeast Asia you have a lot of the more poor countries. So, but Singapore is always a powerhouse.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
But it is a city state basically.
Yeah.
It's like Monaco.
Yeah.
Monaco.
They make a lot of money for what do you call it? Their GDP.
Yeah. I had to drug myself today with Benadryl, so I'm kind of slurring I'm literally slurring words today. Like
yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, there was a moment I was like, maybe I'll just run this.
Yeah, I almost didn't come in today, you guys. Like I had a really bad allergic reaction to I got attacked by spiders or some shit last night, and I fucking woke up like my eyes bloodshot red and shit. I was like, "Fuck, dude!" It's like, but my face is still swollen. Look, my cheeks literally are still swollen. Like it's fucking crazy, man. I literally was having trouble saying complete sentences and words and stuff like that, and then I got a stroke, and then
I was gonna say midstream, Miguel starts foaming at the mouth. We don't know why.
But it's because Moon Gang is too important.
What coin did you just see? Charlie, look at this chart. Which coin was you looking at?
Point me in the right direction.
Yeah, but I digress.
It was for all that racism, Miguel.
I would have died long ago.
you gotta do it longer than that, but yeah.
But we're doing all right. Yeah, I know we're trying to, man. But you're right. The CMC is just around the corner. So if people don't know, the last official day to get in will be on Sunday. This Sunday on Moon Gang, which will be August 2nd, and classes start on the 5th.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, an announcement.
Yeah.
For the 5-year Citadel people, we have that full cycle participant group, and in that group tomorrow we're going to determine the time yet, but it'll either be just before the show that we do on Rumble and YouTube, or just after. But we're going to do our first call for the 5-year full cycle participant chat. So yeah, we got a good handful of people in there that really want all the alpha for this whole next cycle, and we're gonna give them some good juice here.
That's right. This is the first official call too. The first official call. It'll be pinned on the top of the top of the secret chat.
Yeah, I mean there's literally only those who have been invited into that one. So it'll be pinned in there, and if you would like to be on it and be on the call, I would say jump into that 5-year Citadel. Miguel put the link there in the chat. What do you get with the 5-year Citadel? You essentially get 5 years of continuous access to Citadel, so you never have to pay a monthly payment or a yearly payment until 2031. or the end of 2031.
Wait, let me hit it with the.
That's a good thing.
No, that's a good thing. But it just fucks with my mind. Like, God damn, that's a long time.
Yeah, bro, I love it.
I mean, you're locking in, bros.
You are locking the fuck in. And a couple of the guys that are in there, we've met before, both in person and virtually, and so we know they're locked in type people.
Yeah.
But if you scroll down there, yeah, so you get 2 free crypto mindset courses, so and then 2 free crash out courses. So if you're like, hey, I want to jump in both courses this time and get that 5 years of the Citadel and get that full cycle participant alpha group, boom, baby, there you go.
That's right.
So yeah, it's a lot. If you break down the numbers, we're practically paying you, but you know what I mean? Like, in the sense that we're giving you a lot of discount. We're basically charging less than what the Citadel actually costs for that period of time. And you're getting in that group that you're going to be in for the full 5 years. But I would say probably the information in that group within a year will pay off the cost of this for sure.
Absolutely. And we can't discuss what happens in Fight Club.
Exactly. But we can say that there will be something discussed there.
Yeah.
We just can't say what.
It's going to be explosive.
Yes. We had a lot of lettuce. I'm
currently doing deals right now with liposuction clinics.
We'll get all the referral links. But yeah, so that'll be a good call. I just recommend that if anybody wants to jump in there while we're doing it live tomorrow, make sure to get into there tonight. But then also that will be recorded. But we're gonna do the recordings in that group. We're gonna do a little Mission Impossible style. We're going to give them a termination date. So for this one, I believe it'll probably be about a week. So it'll be on Thursday. So next week on Thursday, it will be cut. Can you put that on there? Do you also get in Citadel Algo Max? No, you don't get that as part of the 5-year group. I don't. That is not included in there. But if you wanted to add that to it, like if you wanted to get in the 5-year group and Citadel Algo Max, just send us an email about that, and we can cut you a special package deal, basically with that. So just send us an email, say that you were the person that asked about that, and we'll chop it up, make it a lot more affordable for you. Basically, give you a good deal.
A big part of the group. And the big part of this is actually a thing that I've kind of started since we've been on this whole media run right now for the CMC Q3, is kind of accepting that we are going to be we are the millennial and Zoomer boomers of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying this on I think I've said this on the past 3 shows, but I even tweeted it out today, just kind of going over the fact that actually no, I tweeted it out last night. I'm sorry, this morning I almost died.
Almost being the keyword.
Almost keyword. What can't kill me only makes me stronger. Zenkai boost. But basically that right now BTC is at a price point that's equal to where most boomers bought their houses at in the early 80s, 70s, mid 80s, which was around mid 60s, right? And a lot of those properties that boomers now that have now basically appreciated to, the average house is probably over $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million. Some a little less lucky, maybe only went up to 700,000.
Yeah,
depending on the area, but
especially in cities, I would say that's true. If you go more countryside,
yeah,
I would say they all started at the same place.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of them, yeah.
But because I think in the countryside, a lot of those houses were going for 45 to 65, 70 million or $70,000, right? But right now, a lot of those houses, I would say minimum, 300,000. Maximum, maybe a couple. Well, there's no maximum technically because some of them did appreciate it crazy, right?
Bought a Palm Beach back in the day.
Exactly. But on average, right, a lot of them probably not much past 2 million unless they
got lucky on the real estate.
Right,
side of
exactly.
It. Yeah,
so.
Because I feel bad for imagine the boomers that bought their homes in Detroit. Oh, fuck, man. Because Detroit was popping back in the day.
Well, yeah, if you were working for Motown, I guess it didn't last too long. Right?
Motown?
Yeah, what you got? Detroit, you got Motown, you got Ford, you got what are the biggest industries?
Everybody,
there?
Ford, GM, everybody.
GM, yeah.
Pontiac, rest in peace. Oldsmobile, yeah.
Damn, Oldsmobile had comfy seats too.
Yeah, we had some crazy stuff, man. But she's basically saying Hex and Pulse Chain are basically in Beverly Hills. Hills. So it's Beverly Hills when it's good, and it's Hills Have Eyes when it's bad.
That was a good way to put it. I like
But
that.
absolutely. Someone asked me, Miguel, are you still holding? Yes, I have literally all my Hex, all my Pulse Chain, all my Pulse X. I've got bags for days. Trust me. And I have stakes still coming out. So I'm sitting comfy. If this decides to ride up, back up to Hex goes back to pennies, bro, we balling out of control, man.
Yeah.
Maybach music.
Hey. Calm down, Charlie. But yeah, you can full screen this, Kyle. But just to share the screen again, just put it on my Twitter real quick. 1 second. Is kind of like I shared this right here that like the difference is that the dramatic price moves that real estate did took about 40 to 50 years.
Right.
Well, maybe like 40, 35 technically, but like, it took basically into the 2000s, into 2020 now. And I would say like those property values were that high somewhere around like 2017 onwards at being like, damn. And they just kept climbing. And obviously the peak was in 21. They'd come down a little bit, but still those properties that boomers are selling today are not going back to 50 grand.
No.
Right. So like, it's a lot of money.
You can even take the house off the lot. It's probably still more.
Yeah. The land, you can knock the house over, the land's still worth a lot.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of, especially in California, right? There's a lot of real estate, in Miami too, where whatever is built on the lot is kind of trash.
Yeah.
Like it's not really that well built or anything, but it's pretty much all the property values in the land itself.
So I sort of count like these blue chip assets now that we are talking about as like it's prime real estate. It's just in different areas, right? Like maybe you say like the most valuable property in California is BTC basically, but you also have very good property in Ethereum long term. Solana's up and coming and stuff. We'll see where it goes. I don't think it's Detroit, but
right now it's a shanty house.
Right, well, a little better than shanty houses.
Well, I mean, like how much is one Solana? Like a couple $100. It's like what? What kind of house are you buying with that?
Many houses, Charlie. Many mini houses.
Yeah, like got like a shack.
So so basically, but we get that price appreciation instead of waiting 35 years, we'll get it in 15 years, right? So it's a BTC in 15 years is at least going to be somewhere between 1.5 to $3 million per coin. And you too can be a boomer, so you can tell the next generation to pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm going to fucking do.
Yeah.
Because I'll say like this. I'll be like, you motherfucking whippersnappers, you guys all got quantum. If I only had quantum, I'd go to the other timeline and I'd change the goddamn
It's
past.
lucky you don't have to learn AI, Charlie. I mean, you guys have crypto wealth. We actually have to learn quantum. Like,
we have to learn the,
It's going to be a lot of like that is the younger generation crying. That's also a ton of hopefully not you guys, but a lot of millennials, a lot of Zoomers, a lot of Generation X, a lot of Boomers. Well, Boomers probably be dead, but Gen Z and millennials and the Generation X. They're going to be crying because they didn't buy any. And
they missed the boat.
They missed the boat, and then they fumbled it too.
Yep, they didn't get on the bandwagon until it was too fucking late. And who are they going to come to, Miguel, to learn everything about crypto? And basically, what do you call it?
You see how he's looking at you?
Yes, I do. I say, "Fuck you," no. But who are they going to come to and be like, "Please teach me the ways of all this crypto degeneracy and all this crypto craziness." Right? When they come, they're going to come to the crypto mindset course. We're going to, what do you call it? Educate the masses. Sure.
Yeah.
But we did I think it was the second crypto mindset course we ever did. We had a guy in there, maybe getting close to 60. He's like,
oh, I know exactly what
I've
you're saying.
literally missed every single major technological advancement that he could have invested in.
He faded it all.
He faded Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, everything.
IBM. He was old enough to be like, he could have gone to IBM.
Yeah. And he did well for himself on his own job and everything like that. But
it wasn't lost on him.
It wasn't lost on him.
He said it to us.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm not missing Bitcoin. I'm not missing this one. And he was getting in close to probably under $20,000 Bitcoin. This was
because it was in December
of 2020.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, shout out to him. I hope he kept going on that, right? We haven't seen him in a while, but
yeah, and he's a good guy and everything like that. But like later on in the cycle in 2021, I mean, not even 6 months. The amount he was complaining to us because like we were all making a ton of money on altcoins. Like, I mean, it's just the truth, right? But like, brother, you wanted like the for sure safest portfolio, and you're also in your 60s, dude. Like I'm not gonna have you in Tomb shares. Like,
but he kind of wanted Tomb shares.
He did want Tomb shares. He like, I want to make money on Phantom.
That's how we knew it was a top.
And he was up a lot. Like he was up a lot. Actually, he was up quite a lot. It was doing very well for itself, and he did really well with Ethereum. Did really good that cycle too, because Ethereum was still relatively cheap at the time in December of 2020, and then it really started rocketing off in 21. And he was like, he basically was almost like mad at us. So I was like, well, brother, we've set you up here. And if you like, and this is why he kept fucking up year. I mean, I would say decade after decade is like, I bet you like he faded it, or like he jumped in and just got wrecked and then jumped out. And then like, if you kept it, it's like the people who dumped their Amazon stock back in the day in 2001. And then if I just kept my .com fucking shares and shit, I'd be worth $40 million, $50 million, man. It's these actions, and like, I mean, that should let you know even people in their 60s do it.
Yeah.
So
literally.
Yeah. So I guess once again, I just have to play, oh, sorry. Yeah, because of shit. The sad clown getting the fucking CMC.
That's right.
That's right. It's so funny to pan back to me, my cloud.
Don't threaten me with a good time, Miguel.
Moment of silence. That's right. But he's right. Like, people are going to miss the crypto boat. It's it does also fuck with me too, because I've like, obviously we've done really well in crypto, but like, I could have kept all the BTC and stuff. I had,
yeah, there's a lot of what ifs, right? What if you would have held all your mana? There's tons of stories like that. Yeah, but
yeah, it's like, if I done everything perfect, no,
correct.
But if you follow this general guideline and stay in the market, you will win. I mean, that's one of the reasons I didn't sell any Bitcoin or Ethereum in this last cycle. Like, in terms of like, I bought some, but I didn't sell it, because I was like, I'm going to keep this for the long term, and I don't fumble this later on and stuff, because I had an opportunity when I came into crypto for the first time in 2016 to buy Bitcoin at $500.
Yeah.
I still did really good. Like, I mean, it was impossible to lose money in 17. In 21, during 2019, when it crashed so low, it was $3,300. $3,000. So now, you know how I'm saying right now, like, oh man, this is a life-changing opportunity. Bro, it was fucking 20x cheaper.
Yeah.
20x cheaper.
And that's the thing is, I think whenever people come in, they kind of view it as they're really late to the game. So when we got in 2016 and 2017, I remember my exact words the first time I bought Ethereum at $90 in 2017, because some people had been trying to tell me about it at $30. And so I was like, 3x higher. That seems kind of like a lot. Like, I don't know much about finance at that point, right? But I'm like, this kind of seems like a big move. Aren't I buying the top? Right? That's basically what I said right away. And they were like, buy anyway. And I'm like, all right. Sure. So I bought some. It went down, of course, from $90 to $70. But yep, like I thought, this thing's going to zero. Fuck it, whatever. Just stop paying attention to it. 2 months later, I'm like, oh yeah, what's that thing doing? Look at it, it's $400 a coin. I'm like,
shit.
Ooh,
okay.
This seems interesting. I kind of like this. And then that's where, what do you call it? I got addicted to crypto essentially. So, what do you call it? You know how at the casinos they have those little pamphlets that say like, when the music stops.
When the music stops being fun.
Like, you're supposed to call like the Gamblers Anonymous hotline. But like, that's kind of what it was like when I first got into crypto. I was just like, oh my, this is very, very interesting, right?
What's that tweet from Richard? No, it wasn't a Richard tweet. It was more based than this. It was a tweet from Trump. No crying in the casino. Fuck, bro.
Exactly,
That's
right?
a good tweet.
But So when we got in that year, the people we were watching at that time were guys that had been in, since 2011, since 2014, since 2015, that time period. So we felt like we were late by the history of crypto to that point. But now that we've had another 8 years of crypto history since then, pretty much, maybe almost 9, right? Now, if you go back and say we got in at 2016, 17, we started our business 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
Sounds like almost at the beginning to most people, right? By the time we get to the $1 million+ Bitcoins, people are going to be like, so you guys knew about Bitcoin and bought Ethereum. You bought Bitcoin under $4,000. You bought Ethereum, under 100. You started your business when Bitcoin was still under $10,000. Like, it's insane, right? It'll be massively insane, and we've told people this from the beginning. But the funny thing is, the people getting in now during this part of the cycle, I would say by the time we get to 2040, people will say the same kind of thing. They'll be like, "Oh, you got in before 2030? Oh, you must have bought like Bitcoin under 100K. That was a dream. Like you got that boomer real estate money. Oh, that's good for you, man." They won't say good for you because they're all crabs in the bucket assholes, jealous as fuck. But
like lucky motherfucker, but didn't do shit. We were making up entire storylines with the whole boomer narrative, like fucking paid fucking 5 nickels in a bar of
in a raspberry
for BTC.
Yep. But and so like this is why we preach, cultivating crypto, dollar cost cryptoing, and having that main bag in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe a little Solana, right? Not because we don't like other coins or we think the other coins can't do a lot of stuff over time. We think they can. But if you focus on the mains like that, you might feel like, it's a little slower and you're a little bit, you're quite a bit late. But you're here before Vanguard, man. I think
true.
that could,
true. That's
to me, that could be the line in the sand. If you get into crypto and you start understanding it even at a basic level before Vanguard fully has deployed, which I think will probably be around July of next year, where they're fully operational with crypto. If you got in before that era, I would say you're with the smart money.
Yeah.
You get in after that era, but close to it, okay, maybe you're kind of getting in with the early big crowd. But if you got in one cycle after Vanguard, you're a laggard. Like massive laggard.
If you get in with calipers, you're fucked, bro. If you're getting in with the retirement money of the nurses and the nurses, fucking firemen, and I guess teachers and shit, I think you're pretty fucked because they always dump everything on calipers, bro.
Oh, really?
Oh, bro, it's a joke, dude. Yeah, it's actually a really big pension fund right there for those people and stuff. But like, they always end up getting sort of like the short end of the stick, typically. Lots of losses. That's also another problem that's going to come up in the next couple of years as like more and more people are retiring. It's kind of ponziing up a little bit because they're I'm pretty sure they don't have enough.
True.
So it is what it is. But there's kind of some big news. Kyle, can you share my screen for 1 second? There's some big news. So the CEO founder of Telegram just basically got a arrest warrant put out for him in Russia for helping the Ukrainian people.
Facilitating terrorism, they say. And you don't want your head on a most wanted list from Russia, first of all. Second of all, if they do catch you, straight to the gulags. Yeah. Like they don't play around. So
he better stay in Monaco or he better stay in Dubai, bro, because man, he's like, it's tough out here, man.
I respect him a lot too for actually building a useful app and actually having it encrypted and not giving backdoors to governments as much as possible and all that type of stuff, because he's pretty much been, I don't know what you want to call it, like trying to be, many governments have tried to manipulate him to give them access to the back end of Telegram. And so far, he hasn't bent the knee to them as far as we know. He was about a year ago arrested by the French for about a month, and then they let him go, didn't charge him for anything. But but maybe he kind of started playing ball with the West a little bit there. I don't know, but yeah, you got to respect somebody who's actually doing that, because like a guy like Mark Zuckerberg, the FBI, NSA, CIA all come in at the same day and say, "Look, we need a backdoor." He's like, "Okay, no problem on it right now." Right. Like, you know, he had no hesitation for the Zuck. He'll sell you all your data on a heartbeat.
Yeah. It is funny though, like the timings are lost on me, because I mean, before this, right? Like I think less than a week ago, he announced that he was going to basically give a native wallet to every, like basically a native wallet to every Telegram user, and I bet you that's one of the reasons.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird, and then also around this time, Zelensky and what's his name, Netanyahu met up and stuff like that. So I think maybe that had something to do with that as well. That's kind of weird because like the reason is like 2/3 of the users of Telegram are for the Ukraine and Russia, and then the last third is basically everyone else.
Watch, they have the central bank digital currency, digital shekel, one free digital shekel in every wallet. Where's that music when you need it?
That's crazy.
He kissed the wall, Miguel. No, Pavel.
No, Pavel. And full screen is Kyle. Oh yeah, I'm trying to find the feed here. He actually, this picture right here that I posted up was in real picture. They posted this from Telegram's official Twitter.
Nice.
I just jacked it for the tweet right here, but I was like, it was like, what do you think? Right? That's kind of badass, man.
Yep.
It's funny because it's also like hella grainy. It's like in 380p and shit. But all right, we'll see what happens. Interesting. But yeah, government's getting pretty. I mean, man, that wall did look pretty cool, man. We'll see what happens with that, man.
And now they're calling it the gram.
Yeah, they changed the token from ton to gram.
Made it sound a little cooler.
Yeah, the gram,
because they could be mixed with Instagram, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about that gram. I'm talking about my wallet. Look at all the.
Do you have any other news and stuff you wanted to share? And stuff
sure. Yeah.
Before we get into the main video.
Sure, why not? I think I got to share a screen, right?
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Oh my god.
I thought the screen was going to be like, what do you call it? Mind blasted into the StreamYard. All right. Got that.
Yeah, there you go.
So this one, just because it's kind of fun to, like, this day in history, you know, what was the crazy thing Satoshi said, right? But this one was 16 years ago. So this was July 29th, 2010. 16 years, that's a while, right? So Satoshi said, "If you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to try to convince you. Sorry." Right? So that was the famous quote from Satoshi. You have it here at the very end. What was he responding to? Let's see. So scalability and transaction rate. The current system where every user is a network node is not the intended configuration for large scale. That would be like having Usenet users run their own NT and NTP servers. I'm guessing that was slow. The design supports letting users be users. The more burden it is to run a node, the fewer nodes there will be. The fewer nodes that will be bigger server farms. The rest will be client nodes that only do transactions and don't generate. And then too long? 10 minutes is too long to verify that a payment is good. It needs to be faster. And then Satoshi just got pissed and said, "I'm not going to try to fucking explain it to you, bro." So maybe Satoshi did actually have some scaling ideas, but left too early because the CIA got onto it. I think that's probably what happened.
Wasn't it Andreessen's fault? No, was it Andreessen?
Yeah, Gavin Andreessen was the top developer with Satoshi at the time. I think this was maybe late 2011 or 2012. And then he said, "Oh, by the way, bro, next week I'm going to Langley. I'm gonna give a presentation both to the CIA and the FBI. FBI, open up!" I'm sure, willingly. So he was the only person they could find the name of, and he didn't know who Satoshi was. So I think they were trying to squeeze Andreessen to know who Satoshi was, and Satoshi was like, "Yeah, I kind of see that." And see you guys later. Right, just so. But it's kind of funny. So he's like probably had scaling things in mind, but it's like I don't have time to explain it to you, right? So that's the famous quote that Bitcoiners always say, like, "Oh, sorry, if you don't get time to explain it to you, fucking normie." Like that bullshit, which is what we do the opposite of here at the Crypto Mindset Course.
I will say this, that this was a bit of a poison within the community, because this also, a lot of founders in the 2017 cycle also adopted this horse shit.
Yes.
We're like, I don't got time to explain to you. I got a token, but I don't care if you know about it, which is crazy.
Yeah,
literally, Vitalik did it because Vitalik actually told you that.
Yeah. Literally, me.
Alex Mashinsky told me the same shit too.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did. He basically didn't tell me about he told me everything about the platform. Didn't show me his token one time, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Motherfucker, man."
But yeah, so a lot of cunts in crypto that do that type of shit. It is what it is, but we do have time here at the Crypto Mindset Course, at the Dollar Cost Crypto Show, at the Cultivate Crypto Show. Actually, we've had the last 3 weeks straight to tell you. So 3 weeks minus only 2 days off during that entire time. So no, our whole job, we feel like there's a lot of that kind of like in the native crypto space. There's always been a lot of negativity towards newcomers.
Yeah.
In the sense that like people view it as a lot of competition, pretty much. And so it's like
real zero sum.
They had to, I had to struggle, so they have to struggle more coming in. Otherwise, like I'm not just going to help them out, right? But no, in the Crypto Mindset Course, we help you guys out. We make sure you guys get up to starting, and there's no such thing as a dumb question. The only thing that's bad, I would say, is if you don't actually put in the spaced repetition time. Once you got the webinars, watch as many of them as you can over the course of the entire quarter. Yeah, I think it should be easy to watch all the webinars. Make sure you're up to date on all the information and really absorb it. That's all that I would say is required if you really want to massively succeed with the Crypto Mindset Course. If you want to half-ass it, you might get half-ass results, right? So, but at the end of the day, we do have the time to explain to you guys. We do have the platform has been built specifically for that. So get in while you can. Well, somebody is still willing here to explain it to you, because at some point in the next decade, we're going to be, like you're saying, becoming the boomers in this industry.
Yes.
In the way, right? Yeah. And so when that happens, we're going to have all sorts of phrases, all sorts of words, especially mixed with the real world asset tokenization phase. Once that comes in, we're going to try to confuse the heck out of all the newcomers coming in. And it will be very complicated by that point. It will be a lot more complex than it is today. And yeah, there are going to be a lot less people who are going to want to explain that tapestry, because at that point, it's like writing a freaking textbook,
right?
Which we may have to do at some point. But it's we're still relatively early, but not for much longer.
Absolutely. And we had a question here: who is more likely to be Satoshi, Zuko or Elon? Neither of those people. And between those two people, Mero, it's probably Peter Thiel. Between those two people, if I had to say. But I always thought Hal Finney was Satoshi and stuff, but he died and stuff. So I mean, it looked to be someone from the UK.
Yeah, I kind of always thought it was a group of people.
Yeah,
like maybe it was Hal Finney, Nick Szabo, Adam Back, and maybe Craig Wright even was in there at some level, right? And then
it's almost like they kind of did to like what they did to Hopkinson.
To Craig, right? Something like that happened to Craig, and then like Nick Szabo is probably like, yeah, fuck this horseshit. People are getting on their high horse. The CIA is coming after me. I'm out.
Okay, hear this. What if he really was, bro?
Nick Szabo?
No, fuck him. No. What if Craig Wright was? They actually just fucked him out of it. Like what?
But yeah,
that'd been funny.
But he doesn't.
Not funny,
he doesn't have
crazy.
the private key, so he's definitely
no.
He definitely wasn't the core beginning engineer.
Absolutely not. But it'd just be fun. I mean, not funny, but it'd just be like, because you're like, when it all gets said and done, you're like, shit, there was a little bit more to this.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, Edward Snowden. It's Putin.
Yeah. How do I know Snowden has absolutely nothing to do with crypto? What was the first? He repped Zcash before Monero. Remember that? Like Snowden was just basically like a Zcash maxi.
Wow. Okay.
But I'm like, Zcash did nothing and Monero actually works. And then look where we are today.
That's crazy, man.
Maybe Snowden created the inflation bug.
There's a lot of Stanford technology in the whole middle of that all as well. There's a whole, I mean, there's something involved, man.
Yeah, Stanford actually, of any U.S. institution, could have had something to do with it.
Yeah. But, let's talk about the greatest institution, Nexo. Nexo has secured a Mika license.
Amazing.
And then some of these comments were killing me, man. This one right here, Altcoin Chief. Europe's raising the bar for crypto. What? Bro, and these are like, I mean, this one's real. Like, compliance is becoming a competitive advantage. Yeah, because you have a moat. Basically, that you don't have competition. They're essentially creating like oligarchies and shit. Look at this crap. Great move for regulatory clarity in Europe. When? Like, bros, like, oof. Like, these are the bot accounts, bro. I'm like, great product solve real. On what planet? Like, are we talking about the same fucking company, bro? Like, what the fuck, man? Let's just let you know, man. Goddamn, man. Nexo's fucking paying money out to people, bro. Fuck, man.
Raising palms.
Well, we digress. So I guess let's get into it, man. Let's get into this FOMC meeting, man. Watch, it was Putin who made Bitcoin. Fuck, bro. That'd be funny. So let's do it right here, man. All right, 1, 2, and...
Good day. My second FOMC committee meeting as chairman has come quickly. It's probably too early to call it a streak, but our discussions again were collegial and constructive. I'm truly lucky to work with colleagues so capable and mission focused, and so determined, like I am, to sharpen the performance of the Federal Reserve. Today, as you know, our committee decided to vote by a 9-3 vote to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 3.5% to 3.75%. The committee is continuing its policy of making ample reserves in the banking system. The economy is showing.
That's actually a big thing. A lot of people were kind of talking about there, that it was like a 9-3 vote. So 3 people voted to raise rates versus keeping them there.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest dissension in the same direction for like 40 years.
It was, yeah.
For a very long time, something like that.
Yeah. So
the other thing I noticed was that tie was not on right.
Oh, it's a little crooked.
Yeah, I'm just like, brah, like if you're going to get in front of literally national television, at least get your tie right. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. That'd been funny. It was a Bitcoin tie. Like,
then I'd give him some slack.
All right. Like, I didn't like baby print.
Then I'd give him all the slack. Then he can wear whatever he wants if he does that. Yeah.
Oh my god, man.
Showing impressive resilience. Even with recent shocks, the trends are positive and reveal solid growth. Job gains have kept pace with the workforce, and the unemployment rate has changed little. Inflation remains elevated relative to the committee's 2% goal. The committee remains resolute. You've heard this before, but we will deliver price stability. As before, the policy statement conveys just the facts. It's steering clear of forecasting, a choice we consider especially prudent at these uncertain times. Uncertainty, however, does not mean a lack of clarity. For some households, businesses, and market professionals, 5 years of high inflation have left a mistaken impression that's hard to shake, that the Fed's implicit inflation target was somehow above 2%. Let me reiterate, there is no soft inflation target. There is no.
Not real. What are we talking about? He literally said, I don't care what the decimal point to the right is. So if it's 2.9, it's still 2.
Yeah, like
that's literally his first meeting. He literally said that, like damn near verbatim, basically. He's like, all I care about is left of the decimal point. That's all I care about.
He gets one take backsy.
Fuck, but with like one meeting though, within a meeting,
I guess so.
I never said this, not once.
Left a mistaken impression that's hard to shake, that the Fed's implicit inflation target was somehow above 2%. Let me reiterate, there is no soft inflation target. There is no soft implicit target, not on this committee's watch. There's only a target, and it's 2%. Not one of my FOMC colleagues is under any illusion. We have begun a new chapter, and we understand that the 5+ years of inflation above target cannot be cured in 9 weeks or by a single month of modest price decreases. This Fed will not waver. Our credibility rests on performing our duties and delivering on our responsibilities. Americans are right to expect that because our nation's prosperity depends on it. To the regulars here in the press room, today's assessment might sound familiar, yet there was nothing inertial about our discussions, our policy, or our strategy. 2 economic developments are worth highlighting. The first is a very notable change since our last meeting 42 days ago. Nominal and real yields are materially higher across the Treasury curve. In fact, some of the increases in market interest rates between FOMC meetings are among the most significant in the last 2 decades, ranking around the top decile or so. But if the committee didn't change its policy rate, what happened? In the intermeeting period, market attention centered on real data and real economic developments. Prices reacted in real time to incoming information, and the reduction in forward guidance may have been a factor. Market participants are learning to play the ball, not the referee, and market prices will continue to respond in the direction and magnitude they see fit.
So he's basically saying that by them taking a step back, people got to speculate now. So it's like money, like before they would just, actually, that was actually a great thing he said right there was like, you got to learn how to play the ball, not the referee, which they've been playing the referee basically. So now like more money's going off the sidelines and they're just jumping straight into bonds, or they're selling bonds off or just selling stocks and stuff, or going into, it's like everyone's having to kind of play the ball now and stuff. I mean, Citadel literally like called it wrong yesterday and stuff like that. And they're like, rates are going to go up. And they're like, nope. Powell actually wrote the script. But I mean, they're admitting to the fact that, yeah, like volatility has gone up quite a lot. And then even just in one, like, what is it, 43 days since the last meeting? I mean, they've got the 30-year and the 2-year treasuries have gone up a lot. Back to like, haven't seen in 20 years. What was 20 years ago? 2008. Uh-oh.
Participants are learning to play the ball, not the referee, and market prices will continue to respond in the direction and magnitude they see fit. This is, in my view, a change for the better, and we're just getting started. After all, the central bank need not always and everywhere be the center of attention. I understand the desire for rolling forecasts and commentary from this committee. But for our part, we need to observe market reaction to developments, direct and unfiltered. I want to stress, of course, that decisions by this committee matter a great deal. And where necessary and appropriate, we will not hesitate to act. A second economic development is one that I noted at the congressional oversight hearings this month, but it's worth repeating. The most striking feature of the economy is the strong growth of business investment. The surge in high-tech CapEx has been remarkable, but that does not necessarily make the Fed's role any easier.
Yeah, and what he's talking about here is all the money they're borrowing for AI infrastructure. It's just one specific area. It's these data centers. It's these IPOs. And I think one of the reasons, I mean, besides, it's just so much money, you guys. It's like, I think it was like $2.4 trillion have been borrowed and spent in AI. And I've said this for a minute that it's not really trickling down into the economy at all. Maybe not yet. Maybe in a couple of years it will. But like, because usually where they're building these centers, there's no one there. It's very small cities, very small towns, and stuff like this. There is some high-paying jobs there, but the money's not really trickling around. And you have to think about it too. The workers and the people that are working there, they're really having trouble. They're kind of forced to stay there for a long period of time to work before they can like leave and then go spend their money on dumb stuff. And we need that dumb stuff. So you
can spend their money on Amazon packages.
Yeah, but it's actually causing like all this borrowing in a way, because there is some corporations where they have put the loans on their books, but a lot of corporations have figured out these little weird ways of just like jiggering everything where the debt's not technically on Apple's balance sheet or Microsoft's or Nvidia's or Oracle's. It's on a bunch of like local banks and large banks that are like have all this debt on their books now. That's structurally dangerous. So like it's like a weird, like, because technically, yeah, if like Nvidia, let's just say like Oracle defaulted, right? Like those banks are in trouble. But like in a way, it's weird because it's now hidden in a way. But before, like like you owe this much money, it's on the balance sheet on Oracle, but now it's not really. It's like it's just more of a line item, like, oh, we're paying some a small debt service, but there's not the negative of like we have all this looming debt, so the companies look a lot less debt service basically. So they look like they're much higher credit worthiness, and they're not, but they're levered to the hilt. Well, the trickle down is not complete bullshit, but like it all depends on the trickle down of like when real estate's going up, that trickle's real. It's very real because it hits it hits more Main Street economy faster because it's spread across everywhere. Most towns are affected by it and stuff like that. So like if housing prices are going up, people are speculating, banks are willing to loan out, and then plumbers, electricians, painters, landscapers, Costco selling more, fucking Home Depot, Lowe's, it fucking the wave out there. Versus these things, it's like very specific, like Nvidia's getting the money, but then they borrow and spend it out. And so like only small portions of people are getting very rich. And yeah, so and Charlie said that. The time was off. Bothering me.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be funny. Every time it's just going more and more like this.
Well, the only reason why I say it is because, like, what do you call it? When I was working in Tokyo or whatever, every day, even in August when it was fucking crazy hot, you had to wear a suit every single day.
That's brutal, dude.
Yeah. So, like, what do you call it?
Did you see the weather's kind of like Miami? Like, kind of that, like,
it's like, I would say it's probably, if you're going to choose anywhere in America, it'd be like South Carolina.
Damn.
Yeah.
Reaper.
So really high humidity in the summer, and then also tons of hurricanes in the fall.
Right. Yeah. Reaganomics was sort of bullshit. Like some of it was. It's like people want black and white. It's kind of shades of gray, 50 shades. But it's shades of gray where like there's a lot of truth there, and there's parts of it that's total bullshit. You know. So, this is why like what's been holding the economy back, and why like what could help a lot of people catch up would be real estate starting to ascend up, or becoming more affordable. It actually kind of fucks us up kind of in the short term, because it becomes more affordable. It does cost some action, but it's not the same as like if the prices are going up, or they make the ability to buy a house cheaper in terms of like if the interest rates are lower, then you can afford more of a house. That further compounds the prices on there, and then people are spending money. And then when you move into a new house, you're buying furniture. It literally, like, this economy runs not on Duncan, but on like real estate and speculation. And right now the speculation part of the market's still hot. Like the stock market, the US stock market's holding the entire economy of the planet up right now. Literally South Korea is like imploding right now. Like, fuck. And China's under a lot of pressure right now, even though they're building like a 553 metric ton power plant to make an artificial sun to create energy. Oh, that's not going to go wrong.
Especially not from China.
Not from China.
Right? Like, oh my! If we're going to get a wormhole suck Earth into like the middle of nowhere, it will be the Chinese that created it.
What if that's the bomb that goes up and destroys China, bro? Like, it just goes like.
What if it, like, yeah, who knows, right? But I heard the reason
giant EMP blast.
I heard the reason why they have the extra money for that is because they're not sending all their tax dollars to Israel.
Instead of Taiwan.
No, they ain't sending shit to Taiwan.
Oh, yeah, but missiles. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ships and
exactly.
boats and shit.
Exactly.
But they're also not doing so hot as well, man, because it's like oil prices are affecting them. And they're under a lot of scrutiny because it's, I mean, like they've devoured most of their local coal supply. Like they need energy really, really bad. They need to import coal. They need to import food. They need to import everything basically. So like if there ever was sort of a holdup in terms of like global shipping, China would be in a lot of trouble. They also import a fuck ton of fertilizer. So like if there was ever like a disruption to all that stuff, it'd be a lot of death in China. A lot. And I'm guessing like if there was a conspiracy theory to rebalance the number, but like just to be like, oh, like when everything crashed and stuff, like we had 500 million people die of starvation. It was the greatest thing ever, but it was like in reality it was 100 million. But they're like, okay, we can erase all these zeros because we lied about all this.
They had tattoos, Miguel.
Yeah. 6 million lives a day. My God. But digress. Let's go back. Let me go back a little bit here. But it is scary because it puts a lot. I mean, it's kind of a small ticking time bomb on the banking sector now.
Yeah.
Which they can overnight repo to give them some money and stuff, but they've already saved like something that people don't realize about what happened during 2001. During 2021. During COVID was that whole shutdown and everything like that. That was a way to basically print money to save the banking sector during that time. It's just they couldn't do two back-to-back financial like we had the housing crisis, right? They couldn't have another finance one where the bankers were
within like a decade.
Within a decade, it's like no. So like and they couldn't do a war big enough, right? So like pandemic. We have to print money. Let's
believe the science, Miguel.
Right?
The Fauci science.
The Fauci. The Fucci.
What was that stuff they sold in the early 1900s, like elixirs and whatever?
Oh, snake oil.
All the snake oil salesmen. I mean, we got to get some Fauci term for that.
Yeah. The dude literally was like the reason so much gay people died during the AIDS epidemic because he like was AMT. What was it called? It was like
in the 80s?
In the 80s, yeah. They had some sort of drug that that pretty much worsened like AIDS patients and just basically sped them up and died.
Yeah.
And Fauci was behind it.
Yeah, I mean that's probably where Fauci cut his teeth. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Got away with it, man.
A second economic development is one that I noted at the congressional oversight hearings this month, but it's worth repeating. The most striking feature of the economy is the strong growth of business investment. The surge in high-tech CapEx has been remarkable, but that does not necessarily make the Fed's role any easier. In the AI-related category of high-tech equipment and software, the most recent data shows 4-quarter growth rates of nearly 20%. This is helping to sustain the healthy momentum of manufacturing output. More generally, CapEx is preparing the ground for future growth. Nonetheless, the precise timing and magnitude of effects on the supply side remain hard to predict. FOMC meeting.
Talking about right there is like rare earth metals, basically. Like, and on top of that too, like he's like, yeah, it is good for manufacturing here in the States and across the planet, but the problem is the manufacturing here in the West is so small now that like 20% of nothing is still nothing, right? It's still great. I mean, if you were in the manufacturing space, like that's what I'm saying. Like if you're manufacturing something, like the components for any of the computer chips for like NVIDIA, you're fucking balling out of control, but you're like small. Like it isn't like we have these huge amount of, it isn't like Detroit's fucking fully up and running and stuff. A 20% increase to that, I'll be like, damn, that's pretty sizable. That's big. But yeah.
Produce policy decisions. But just as important is candid discussion of the big things that matter most. That too is a priority in this new chapter at the Fed. In our meeting, vigorous discussion centered on 4 questions, which I will enumerate. First, we talked a lot about the implications of the past 5 years of high inflation on the current policy conjuncture. To echo an old phrase, has the past really passed? Second, My colleagues and I considered the economic shocks of recent years, strained supply chains arising from the pandemic, military conflicts, energy supply disruptions, substantial increases in tariff rates, and yes, the surge in AI-related investment. These differ in their sources. Do they also differ in their effects on output and employment? Third, we took up the related question of price increases arising from shocks. The business capex boom, for example, is driving up prices of.
At least I do like this that they're admitting all the faults right now. I never remember Jerome. Like Jerome would say it in Fed speak. He's saying it in very plain English here. Like last 5 years, bros. Like we have. What the fuck? It's a lot of inflation, man. Like this is crazy now, and like there is logical reasons why it's happened. It isn't just because of like bad monetary policy. It was. I mean, this is true though in a way where like it was government laws that caused certain things or certain policies, and then the Fed had to react to try to fix it. But it's sort of like I have to give you this terrible medicine, like I have to give you this morphine that you'll get addicted to later on. But if I don't, you're gonna die. So like I have to do it, and now we're trying to fix these problems, but we got a crackhead here. of an economy right now, and we seem to be the cleanest crackhead economy on the planet, apparently.
I'm rich, bitch!
Goddamn Charlie.
Considered the economic shocks of recent years, strained supply chains arising from the pandemic, military conflicts, energy supply disruptions, substantial increases in tariff rates, and yes, the surge in AI-related investment. These differ in their sources. Do they also differ in their effects on output and employment? Third, we took up the related question of price increases arising from shocks. The business capex boom, for example, is driving up prices of memory and logic chips and associated AI infrastructure. Do these changes indicate a broader inflationary dynamic, or do we just focus on them because they are under the bright streetlight? Finally, we discuss monetary policy tools and strategies for achieving stable prices. If, as the Fed has long held, interest rate policy should be its primary monetary policy instrument, how much accommodation are we getting from the balance sheet? In all of this, our work is advancing at the Fed. We're asking the right questions. And in this consequential time, we know how very much depends on getting the right answers. Of course, you've all arrived with questions of your own, so let's turn to them now.
Let's start with Steve.
Yeah, this was a much better kind of opening statement than the last one. Very straightforward. He was using a lot more Fed speak on the first one. This one was very plain English.
It's like the last time was his first time giving it in class, and then he got some pointers from a few of the
OGs.
A few of his peers or his OGs or the teachers or whatever, right? And they're like, okay, let's clean it up.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking our questions, Mr. Chairman. Sure. You've had a couple months now, or 9 weeks, or whatever number it is, to see the markets behave in the absence of forward guidance. I'm wondering if you could tell me what message are you getting from the markets as to where policy ought to be right now?
Yeah, so I think officially it's 8 weeks and 4 days, but I'm not counting. The message from markets is the message from markets. What I've really been trying to do, Steve, as I think you appreciate, your colleagues appreciate, is getting an unfiltered message from markets, getting a direct message, letting buyers and sellers meet at prices for treasuries, for the foreign exchange value of the dollar, and then trying to judge for ourselves, what does that mean about our remit? How are we doing on inflation? How are we doing on employment? We're trying not to interfere with that market signal. That's part of the reason why we've been somewhat spare in our words, why we pulled back from forward guidance. So they're reacting to events, I would say, much more directly over the 42 days since we last met. This is a good thing. As I mentioned in the prepared remarks, we've seen a material tightening, not just in nominal rates, but in real rates too. And we're observing it. We're trying to stay out of that because, many of you might be interested in our reaction function. We're interested in the reaction of financial markets.
I get that, Mr.
So kind of what he's saying here is that we want to react to what the market's doing, not the market reacting to what we're doing, basically. So he kind of Fed speaked it a little, like he was talking very plain English and started kind of Fed talking right in the middle there a little bit. Like, but sometimes it's hard when you're because obviously this guy, I mean, they know each other obviously, and this guy's I've seen this guy in meetings forever. I mean, this guy's been here for fucking like 5 years at least when I've been tracking. So he didn't really answer his question 100% how he wanted it because it's like, all right, so like, what does the market tell you how to do it? No. I'll do what the market tells me. But but I'm asking you, like, when the market does this, will you do that? No, but I'll do this once it does that. No, thank you, man. And next question, please.
I want to give you the whole game plan.
Yeah, he's kind of is doing that. He's kind of like, I'm kind of like, he on the first meeting, he basically didn't want to let me refer you back to my statement in the beginning of the presentation.
Where's the I plead the fifth?
Oh, gotta be somewhere here. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We got to use a picture on that one, but yeah.
Stay out of that because many of you might be interested in our reaction function. We're interested in the reaction of financial markets.
I get that, Mr. Chairman, and I guess the follow-up question is, if the markets are talking to you, what do you hear them saying? And if it's real rates are higher, it would suggest that that's where the funds rate ought to go.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, it's your question. So, interpreting markets is an imperfect business.
One little thing too, I'm going to see how he's acting towards the other people because that guy has seniority. He's been around a long time. They may have told him like, hey, bro, you were fucking hella rude to the reporters last time. Like, because he was giving them nothing, bro. In the first meeting, he was giving them nothing. He was like, hey, I guess I have to give you 2 questions. I guess that's the thing. So you can ask maximum of 2 questions. He was like real tight with them on the leash and shit. So maybe they told him like, yo, chill out a little bit. Like loosen it up a bit, bro. You're kind of coming off as a cunt.
We central bankers like market pros can think these things are overdetermined, but let me offer some speculation. First, as we said in the FOMC statement that you got at 2:00, the economy output is solid. CapEx and productivity are strong. Labor market's solid, steady. The bond market, the treasury market, it seems to be saying that as well. If I were to try to disaggregate the treasury market signals, I wouldn't be able to do it perfectly. But the bond market's saying many of those same things. And that's why we're seeing a tightening both in nominals and in reals. Even while at some level we haven't done much in 42 days, the markets have done quite a bit.
Claire Jones, Financial Times. You seem to have got the family fight you were after at this meeting. We saw 3 dissents. Could you characterize the arguments that those dissenters put forward, please, and tell us a little bit why you weren't persuaded by them at this stage? Thank you.
So I guess I shouldn't give you their best arguments. I'll give you some others. So you're right. I asked for a good family fight and I got one. That's the purpose. That's the design feature. I come into this meeting, even this press conference, heartened by what I've experienced the last 2 days. Most of our discussion were on the big questions that matter to the conduct of monetary policy. We didn't sort of hide from them. We weren't scared of them. There was a lot more interaction between and among my colleagues. It was a real family fight. My view, which you've long heard, is that's the better way to get policy right. That's our North Star. So
that's right. Family fights and stuff. And that's where I won't say that.
The latest episode of Family Feud where they start throwing mashed potatoes at each other
and chairs and shit. He kind of like answered her snarky question with a snarky back and shit. That's actually funny. But Yeah, I mean, pretty much he was saying like, yeah, we were arguing. That's kind of what I wanted because beforehand, like Jerome ran this with the fucking iron fist, and Darth Powell controlled everything, and it was like I think at most, I think I saw one dissenter. Usually, like at most, like every other meeting, that's about it, really. So,
weren't scared of them. There was a lot more interaction between and among my colleagues. It was a real family fight. My view, which you've long heard, is that's the better way to get policy right. That's our North Star. So there was a lot of agreement that I heard that we have the powers, the tools, also the authority to deliver stable prices. No walking back from our responsibilities. There was a large majority support for the decision that we made in the room. But I also want to leave you, Claire, with one other impression. There was nothing inertial about that discussion. It was an active, robust discussion about what's in the full range of what we can do and might want to do in the period ahead. You characterized accurately, there was a disagreement about a decision today. I would say that doesn't sort of capture the full essence of the discussion. The path to central bank heaven requires delivering on our remit. These days, that means delivering on price stability. I wouldn't measure that path in 42 days or any one particular meeting. And I came out of that meeting even more confident that this is the right team to win the battle against high inflation.
How much do you think not going in July was down to the cool CPI print for June?
So in 2 words, not much, not much. I'd like to believe that the committee shares my views, which is the historic problem with data dependence is the data and the dependence.
So a little bit what he's talking about here is basically saying like by the time they get the data's fucking old. And it's kind of not where it's at. So it's like it could be like, wow, it's kind of like just neutral, cool. And then it just speeds up and you're like, wow, why did it speed up out of nowhere? Versus like we should have already been seeing a gradual increase. So they're like that's kind of what they're talking about, that the data is like stale. So that's something like they're actively working on. And another part too is kind of what we said at the beginning of the stream with G. So like her first question to this question, the underlying part of it, of the discussions and why he won, was basically because they believe that the GDP, so they're just looking at GDP roughly. What they're really looking at in the background is debt to GDP. We're at 39 trillion, let's call it 40 trillion, but we're at $39 trillion of debt right now in the United States. And most of it's kind of like owned by the United States, but there is a lot of foreign as well of that debt. But that debt that's about like 40 trillion to the GDP number is because right now the GDP numbers are okay and they're growing. I think the job numbers are bullshit. Personally, I just from off of from Main Street, and obviously we are more on the internet side, not Main Street, but the internet side is very weak right now, and it's more likely that like what they're looking at is that because of the AI boom and their spending right now, is that GDP is like is basically out pumping how much debt we're accumulating right now. But that's only temporary. Like as soon as there's a downturn, that's also going to go down, and then we're in a problem because like currently we're adding about, if this number's correct, about 1.6 to 1.9 trillion dollars of debt a year. So what is that, 40, 10%, 2.5%. So it's like, fuck, we're basically the debt's growing about like 3% a year, roughly 3% a year. Not good. Not great.
But Elon said we're going to go deflationary because AI is going to be so abundant in 10 years that, what do you call it? We can print as much money as we want, Miguel. He did actually say this, right?
He did say that. And there's been a couple other people who've kind of said something similar to it. Maybe the timeline's an extra 5 years, but like 10 to 15 is kind of the floating number. And what they're basically counting on, which is always off because it's AI. Maybe it's faster, right? Because it's faster. Normally, like when they say like this is going to happen, it takes 10 years. Like
Elon said we'd be on Mars by now. So
I know.
Come on, man.
We were supposed to have a flight to Mars in 2028, motherfucker. That's around the corner, dog.
Yeah, I want to be on that flight. Come on, give me a ticket.
Yeah, well, I pass.
What do you call it? At least to the moon. I'd go to the moon for sure.
Right. No, the moon. Yeah. Well, yeah. At least moon. Yeah.
The moon would be fucking dope.
Yeah.
Bro.
Why don't we have moon base? Fuck, that's crazy, dude. You know some bullshit too. They discovered a different type of helium that was so fucking powerful on the moon. This is real too. Like you can look it up. I think it was like, what is it, helium-2 or helium-23 or something like that. It was like so fucking powerful that like if you filled up like a like like the trucks that have like a gas container of a truck that holds like natural gas, that'd be enough to power like in all the homes in the United States for like, I believe, a week or two. It was really powerful. They found that on the moon, but they don't want to get it. I wonder why. I don't know.
They probably end up having a moon war over it.
The rocket's name's called Titanic. She fucking up, man. Fuck. But basically they're playing this game, and then that's sort of the game that they're talking about, the highest business leaders and everything like that, and then the Federal Reserve, and they're all talking about this part of it because it's sort of, they're getting honey-dicked right now with all the spending that's going on in AI, because the AI spending that's happening now will really affect the economy. I mean, where it's like a noticeable thing for me and you and the consumers and everybody else, probably in 6 years. I would normally say 10 years, but because AI is very fast and it is like doubling every 2 years, and honestly, it feels like it's doubling every year, actually, technically.
Yeah, it'll start, and then after that, it'll be every 6 months. And
then it just gets crazy, right? So like in 6 years, the investment boom / bust, and out of the bust there that we're getting out of that into the 2030s, is going to start really affecting the economy, and it is going to make GDP go up. And it's this weird thing in economics where when we switch to an energy source that's cheaper, people expect like, oh, cool, now we're going to waste less energy. No, energy consumption explodes upwards because now you can use that energy for things you never thought that we'd use that energy for. So like here in the United States, we have an abundance of AC. In Europe, they're dying. In China, they have AC for their pigs. So it's this whole thing where like as AI and human imagination will go into places that we don't think about right now that will become so fucking apparent. Like, duh, why didn't I think about this like 5 years ago? This is so crazy. Of course it's going this way. But like you just don't see around the corner. Same thing with robotics. The robotics thing is really 10 years away. What like Elon shut down like the factory for the Model S and is retrofitting it right now to make robots. But those robots will maybe be commercially, they'll be selling them in 3 years from now, but they won't really be good enough to where like we might be even considering using them outside of just like fun.
Yeah, they won't be in terms of for normies, right?
Right.
Like you could have there's really good humanoid robots that like probably cost you like $1 million. You probably get a fucking awesome ass one.
Sarah Blowjob 5000.
I mean, it probably can do that.
10 years from now? 10 years from now. I like,
oh, bro.
Full screen me cow.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
We're going to be on the Sartain report today at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring this up. But the sex robots are coming and probably like 10 years from now.
But you know who the operators are going to be, bro? It's going to be like, so you know how the AI right now,
I'm so lost. What do you mean by operators?
So like, what do you call it? Right now with AI, there's these people making like fake OnlyFans girls, but it's really
it's dudes.
It's old dudes, right? That are running it. Bro, you know what these guys are gonna do? They're gonna be like, there's gonna be some dude having his robot. Meanwhile, the operator behind the robot, some other dude in another city. Like, I swear, bro. That's where it's going.
I think you're absolutely right.
That's where it's going. It's gonna be a hellscape.
A hellscape, but like, but eventually it will. Like, they will like figure. You're right, though. They will write the script originally.
It's gonna be all dudes circle jerking.
What is that? What was that show called on HBO? Was it Westworld?
Oh yeah, Westworld.
It's gonna be Westworld. Where like, if you actually see like they keep it's kind of annoying. It's a really good show, but it's also annoying. With like you're in the main timeline, then it flashbacks to the past.
Yeah,
and in the past you see how janky shit was. Where like they were more hands on, and then by the current era, they're kind of just, they have a couple watchers up there, but they're basically not really watching, just making sure that nothing dangerous happens. Because like they've seen some guy fucking fuck this robot thousands of times at the point they're like, whatever. What's he doing? He's one of the guests is just fucking a robot. All right, cool. This one's shooting some guy in the head. Cool. Nothing out of the ordinary. The robot's killing something. All right. Oh, okay. Something's up. They're not supposed to get hurt. But that stuff's coming. The start of that is whatever Elon says. Add some more time to it, but it will come to pass. So like 10 years from now, I think the sex robot stuff does actually start coming out, because it's like we're gonna get the normal robots, and then people are like, all right, let's get the real robots out. That's 10 years from now. They'll be janky. 5 years from there, they're gonna start getting kind of decent. And that's where the female top will be in, and I think that's where feminism starts fucking collapsing down, because they'll have to compete
with robots, with 40-year-old dudes running robots.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let me see. Oldest alpha right now is 14 or 15. It's 15. He'd be 30. Prime time to buy. Yeah, this will affect alpha. You're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My son will only be 15. Well, actually, no. Technically, he'll be 17.
Like, damn, Michael, you're motivated on this summer job. What are you trying to save up for?
Nothing,
Dad.
nothing. Back in my day, we used to fuck whores. Like, what?
Back in my day, we used to have the Sears
Dad,
catalog.
I'm trying to as well. Digital.
Dad, I'm not trying to get HPV.
Oh my. Back in my day, we had to go find Playboys.
Damn, that's crazy, man. Feminism's got 15 years, bro. The top's coming, bro. That's also in 15 years when we become boomers. Holy shit, dude. That means we suffered through this feminism horse shit, bro.
We got the worst end of the stick. God damn.
Oh my god! But also, let's think about the other side. The women are also going to be hiring mandingos as well.
This is true. The high
basically male sex robots for the females.
Oh yeah, the robots for sure.
Well, I mean that basically already.
I mean, yeah.
We're being honest here.
Anyway, we digress. But this is kind of what they're talking about here in the background and stuff. It's like basically like the GDP. This is going to lead the GDP as the sex robots. But this is later on.
I mean, there's probably going to be a whole city.
$20 trillion a year in sex robots. Is the economy?
It saved Detroit.
I just like fake titties out.
The Thomas Edison of sex robots. No, not Thomas Edison. Henry Ford. I mean, we might have been streaming for 3 weeks straight here, guys.
Oh my god!
Just saying.
So all this is running through his mind as the Federal Reserve, as the head of the Federal Reserve. But that's kind of what's going on there. Is basically like the GDP's like it's this balancing act where like the GDP is growing fast enough to keep up to how much we're growing the debt. So the increased rates are fine, but not really. But it's squeezing Main Street, which eventually will slow down GDP. But they're also in a weird way fucking betting that like, dude, but this AI shit keeps pumping. We don't have to give a fuck about Main Street at all in a weird fucked up way, because it's in a fucked up way because it can just keep growing. That because like the long term thing is like the only way we're going to pay off this debt is that we grow GDP so fast through the efficiencies of AI that basically decimates the debt, because our GDP just starts outgrowing the debt, and then the debt to GDP ratio just basically gets into a healthier range. And then he's like, I guess we'll just give a stipend to the poors.
Yeah, Elon's like, we'll just write him a check for how much?
I don't know.
Bread and circus. That's about it.
But
like buying kids. I'll buy them too. Just write it down.
All right, so let's go.
Not much. I'd like to believe that the committee shares my views, which is the historic problem with data dependence is the data and the dependence. We are not relying on any one individual piece of data as cover or as an excuse or as validation. What I care about and what I think the committee cares about is trends on the data. Sure, we got some encouraging inflation data. I think at the meeting 42 days ago, I said something like 63 months of inflation above target. I didn't say 64, though the final calculation might be a close one. So we'll be watching inflation data over the period ahead. But I also don't want you to leave the misimpression that we're sort of breathlessly waiting that. I've called for a task force to revisit both the private and public data we use to make our decision making. That task force is out doing their work. I'll be checking back in with them the next couple of weeks, but I wouldn't say we overly relied on any one piece of data, including that data, which surprised some a couple of weeks ago.
Hi, Chairman Warsh. Thanks. Neil Irwin with Axios. Thank you for taking our questions. So the Fed funds rate is now about 75 basis points below the 2-year yield. It suggests markets think you'll have to tighten eventually, about 100 basis points below most Taylor rule estimates. You're hitting your employment mandate. Inflation stays high. Why should rates not be higher today?
There's a lot in there, Neil. So rates are higher today than they were 42 days ago. Markets have made decisions because we step back in part from trying to influence those. Market judgments have moved up on what nominal rates are across the Treasury curve. That doesn't mean we take them as by dictation, but we're observing them. So I think it's a mischaracterization to say that markets haven't reacted because we didn't move today. Markets are reacting in real time. In the period ahead, we've got important decisions to make about the policy rate. Markets in the intervening period, I think, have quite a bit of decisions to make. I'll see if I can put it this way. Monetary policy matters not just by what we say or even what we do. Monetary policy matters by how it affects the real economy. And these prices that we see in financial markets is one of the many ways in which it affects the real economy. We'll be continuing to watch that market information, see how it responds to incoming events, and that can help inform our decision making when we meet in 7 or 8 weeks.
How would you characterize in the family fight the last couple of days of you and the other 8 members who wanted to hold? Was that a strong conviction or was that a hair trigger close call on holding versus tightening?
Well, I think the vote was 9-3. The broader discussion to my ear over the course of the last days showed a lot of agreement on the hard questions. The 4 questions I raised at the outset about what's really happening in the economy with the shocks and absent the shocks. What are our tools and our capabilities? What's the effect on prices on output? I heard a lot of commonality on the questions. Were there different leans on the answers? You bet there was. So could people come to different conclusions? Absolutely. But my own judgment is this is a period of watchful thinking, not watchful waiting. And I think the score on that vote was unanimous.
Colby.
But I mean, it was good to see, like, yeah, like we are kind of discussing with each other, but we all kind of landed in the same way. But like, if things continue in the bad direction, then more people are going to vote for increasing rates, basically. But they basically think that like holding rates here is restrictive enough because they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They should have cut interest rates way earlier, and then they could have increased rates now if they needed to, right? So they could have gave us a 2025 bull run, but they said they fucked us, and now they're getting fucked, which is still fucking us. Beautiful.
Thank you, Colby Smith with the New York Times. You've mentioned that looking at the Fed's policy tools is one element of a 3-pronged strategy to address the inflation problem. So I'm curious how you view the effectiveness of those tools. If inflation is too high and not coming down, is the best remedy to raise interest rates?
So that was the discussion in the last 2 days. Is that the dominant remedy? If inflation continues to be elevated through the forecast period, interest rates could well be part of that solution. But I wouldn't say it's in isolation. I tried to describe in my remarks today the point that I made into the oversight committees a couple of weeks ago. I think there was a misimpression by some in financial markets, by some households and businesses, that central bankers like me, we set a 2% inflation target, but maybe we were more tolerable of a somewhat higher inflation target. In economics, we'd call that the revealed preference. And so might it have been rational for people to think, well, their inflation target's somewhat higher. What I heard in the last 2 days, what I've heard in 8.5 weeks is no. we will deliver the 2% inflation target. That is the committee's definition of price stability. So one way, absent the tools that you reference, to ensure that we get there is ensure that expectations are centered around the right number. And I think we've made some progress on that. I am not suggesting we're done on that. It's worth reiterating. And ultimately, the business we're in, Colby, is performance. We are going to be judged by how we perform. And that's what we intend to do. The inflation target, making clear expectations is one part of it. Making sure we demonstrate we're responsible for it, we're not blaming as another. And our policy tools, like you referenced, is the third and equally consequential part.
How are you factoring?
One thing as well is like they're also what he's kind of been alluding to as well with all the questions and kind of what they've said is that the Fed's taken a step back, and partly this could be a way to so they could like, oh no, this we've been sort of like the everyone's been watching us, the referee, and then they make their decisions versus like they watch where the ball goes and then the referee kind of reacts to that. Part of that is so they can not get blamed for whatever bad stuff happens because and then they're like we're reacting to a bad shit that's happening in the economy, not like we react and the market goes where we want it to go. And he's like, well, basically the market's acting crazy because it's like we're no longer like telling you guys what we're doing anymore. So like then now you have to make your own decisions, and then if that shit blows up in your face, we can't get blamed for it. So this is kind of a part of the strategy is like they're kind of stepping because like one thing is the Fed also got really scared because like Trump was throwing a lot of big threats at Jerome and basically like, hey, they might start taking power away from the Federal Reserve. And they're like, fuck, that's scary. Yeah, maybe we've been a little too heavy handed for the last 15 years. Let us just step back. And then so like if the next disaster happens, they don't just blame it on us because we didn't act.
Which is, good as a self-preservation tool for them. But I would not give a fuck if the government said, hey, let's start dismantling the Fed a little bit. Like, that would be actually a Bitcoiner's dream.
Correct. Oh, did it not start?
We demonstrate we're responsible for it. We're not blaming as another. And our policy tools, like you referenced, is the third and equally consequential part.
How are you factoring the fact that a large portion of the inflation overshoot is being caused by supply shocks, as it's mentioned again in the statement? Does that blunt the effectiveness of rate hikes in your view?
First, on the premise of your question, it was almost as if you were listening to our discussion in the last day and a half. A lot of our focus was on trying to understand and
this fucker's being a little too nice compared to the first one. Man, they definitely told me, "Oh, don't chill, dude."
He's trying to bang, bro. He's
trying to bang. No, no, because she asked a question last time. He shut her fucking down last meeting. He shut everybody down, bro. It was bad. But he's definitely like letting more people into the cracks. Like, all right, you get to like he's giving them just enough for like, damn, how'd you guess that? You're so smart. Yeah, I am smart. Yeah, I guess this guy's all right. But yeah, like basically he's saying he's alluding to this right without saying like yeah, this fucking war shit is like fucking up the numbers because we wouldn't even be having this inflation right now if it wasn't for like disruption to supply to oil in the markets. So high gasoline prices is fucking increasing the CPI right now. So that when that goes away, it's going to go down. And if we increase rates and then that goes down, then we're too restrictive and that's bad for the economy. We'll ultra slow the economy down. They are simple talk.
And does that blunt the effectiveness of rate hikes in your view?
First, on the premise of your question, it was almost as if you were listening to our discussion in the last day and a half. A lot of our focus was on trying to understand and identify underlying inflation dynamics amid shocks. We take these shocks seriously. There have been a series of them that have been hitting this economy. We're not looking through them and saying, oh, they don't matter. What we're trying to understand is to what extent are these shocks broadening in their effects, broadening in their impact on prices that are quite far removed from it. Our goal is to have growth that is broadening and inflation that is becoming more limited, more circumscribed. I'll be the first to admit the shocks make this job and this policy conjuncture a little tougher, but that's among the chief questions we've asked ourselves. And around the room, people have different views on it. I tend to think in the coming months, we're going to refine that view and have a better judgment. And we're going to have market prices trying to help inform it too.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence from Fox Business. I guess I want to drill down maybe a little bit. What specifically in your mind would be the argument then for a pause today?
So I wouldn't characterize what we did as anything like a pause. I would characterize what we did as a rigorous review of the economic situation. I would characterize what we did as a review of the big hard questions. And I'd characterize it as a view of what our own homework is to try to resolve those questions in the period ahead. If you were to try to force a description that this was a pause, I would say financial market prices would take the other side of that. Financial market prices in this intermeeting period, they didn't pause. They reacted to the inflation data in one direction, strong economic growth in the other direction.
You saw that jujitsu right there, man. He fucking just says it's like we didn't pause. The market fucking told you exactly which way the direction's going. But like, he's just trying so hard not to say pause. Homo, no pause, right? But he's trying not to say pause because it's like then that means like we're going to go in a direction, but then the market because of the 2 year and the 10 or the 2 year and the 30-year, then it's like the rates should be going up. So you're like, but if you actually look at it. We haven't changed direction. The direction is cutting rates, right? So technically, a pause would mean we're pausing to send cut rates, but now everyone's like we're increasing rates now, so it's actually a change in direction, right? But like they're classifying it. They don't even want to give that indication. Yeah, I'm getting tired here. Indication that we're going to go in that direction, basically.
I would say financial market prices would take the other side of that. Financial market prices in this intermeeting period, they didn't pause. They reacted to the inflation data in one direction, strong economic growth in the other direction, and nominal and real rates went up. Did the Fed take an explicit change in its policy rate today? No, but I think that's the beginning of the story, not the end of the story.
And if I could, I did want to ask, not forward guidance, but looking forward. Traditionally, a Federal Reserve chairman uses the Jackson Hole Summit as a sort of a reset of monetary policy. Well, how do you look at the speech that you're going to make in August?
I look at it like a blank piece of paper right now. I have not begun consideration with the incredible.
It's like shit, man. I look at that shit like I'm not going to answer anything.
he's like, bro, I haven't even started writing that shit. You know how long it took me to write this one?
He stiff-armed him, bro.
No, but I think that's the beginning of the story, not the end of the story.
And if I could, I did want to ask, not forward guidance, but looking forward. Traditionally, a Federal Reserve chairman uses the Jackson Hole Summit as a sort of a reset of monetary policy. Well, how do you look at the speech that you're going to make in August?
I look at it like a blank piece of paper right now. I have not begun consideration with the incredible team here, what would go into that document. I think you characterized it correctly. Historically, at least from my first tour of duty at the Fed to more recent periods, it would be sort of a setting up speech more often than not of what was going to be happening in the fall. I haven't made any.
So he's using the strategy, agree with one of their points so they feel smart, and then like use that as the way to juke them out. And then basically he's like, you see, I answered your question. I even agreed with what you said without saying anything.
Any judgments on that, but those are judgments we'll have to come to. If I could, in the high mountain air in Jackson, Wyoming, I'd like to also frame the big questions. There is a tendency, especially with the proliferation of meetings and press conferences, to get caught up in the myopic. Did you do this by a quarter or do that? Ultimately, whether we deliver on price stability matters some, the decisions we make in 6 or 7 or 8 week periods, but they matter more. What are the big questions? What's really happening with productivity? What's really happening with demographics? What's really happening to the global economy amid the shock?
Yeah, he just said the very important stuff right there, man. The demographics. And he basically said the GDP. So that's what they're looking at. So like, again, the underlying thing is like, they're semi or fully bought into the whole AI thesis. Is like we just need to explode GDP upwards, and then that'll fucking make the debt look cheap, and then we can borrow more money again.
I mean, solid plan.
Solid plan. And the demographics are not great right now. They're not. We need to be having more fucking kids. More fucking / having, birth of children and stuff. And this is why every country is like I understand like the fastest way to grow the population is just it's immigration. And then immigrants usually have larger families, and then that'll be the sport, and then that becomes like the economic class of the future and stuff, and that's what keeps the economy up and stuff. So, but a lot of countries are really bad at immigration, and a lot of people are just mad at immigration because they're kind of using it as a like this is the reason why real estate's so expensive. No, we could build real estate. The problem is zoning laws, and everyone treats their property as basically a way to get rich. And they're speculating on their property. So it's like, I finally got into the moment. It's like, man, real estate should be cheap. Then you get in your first person real estate. Yeah, man, we should have that HOA. Man, we can't let all these fucking crazies out here. Let's put zoning laws so we can't have triplexes, duplexes, fourplexes out here. And like
they're eyesores, Miguel.
Yeah, they're eyesores and stuff like riffraff and stuff. We're gonna like if you really look at it, we're gonna have to hire more police officers. I mean, this is just gonna like break the budget and stuff. And then on top of that, you're like, we have to allow some low-cost housing over my fucking dead body.
On the other side of town.
The other
that
side
sounds
of town.
We'll
And the other side of town's like, it's going to hurt our property, right? And it goes to this whole thing. It's like, who's got the weakest HOA? And then it's like, all right, we'll put it here. And that's kind of what they're doing. And then so like that, it's excuses. But basically, it's like, I want cheaper home prices. Once I have a home, I want my house to appreciate as much as possible. So let's keep all this fucking. This is where like. I fucking never understood Karens until I owned a house, and now I need a Karens. An army of Karens are so powerful. Once you have a Karen on your side, you can do no wrong, Karen. But that's kind of what's this is like the right and the left brain, right? Like, yeah, we need cheap, we need to have affordable homes, but then once I'm in my affordable home, how the fuck do I make this thing unaffordable as quickly as possible? Ain't that some shit, huh? If it doesn't affect me, fuck them. But if it affects me, fuck you.
Do that. Ultimately, whether we deliver on price stability matters some, the decisions we make in 6 or 7 or 8 week periods. But they matter more. What are the big questions? What's really happening with productivity? What's really happening with demographics? What's really happening to the global economy amid the shocks? Haven't made a decision whether it's going to be a big picture speech or whether it's going to be a more traditional setup for all the action we're going to have between September and December. I will tell you one other thing that I am doing between now and Jackson Hole, which is I'm checking with those task forces. My first principle of establishing a task force is find the best subject matter experts anywhere in the world and put them together, especially put them together with other people who might disagree with them. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a check back in. I've given them time to sort of think hard about their agenda, their debate, their schedule, and when they might be ready for prime time. I'll be doing a little bit of that checking, and that may or may not inform anything I have to say in Jackson.
Nick Timmeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chairman Warsh, I want to follow up on Colby's question about policy transmission. You've said there's no cruel choice between stable prices and full employment. Rates bring inflation down by cooling demand. It's generally thought that can show up in the labor market. If that's not the channel you're relying on, what is?
Yeah, so let me go back to first principles, Nick.
What have I said about this fucking evil phrase, first principles, followed by a scam? Every single fucking time, dude. So whatever he's about to say here is a bunch of bullshit right here. For you ever hear anyone, especially Asian, if they're Asian and you heard first principles, do a 180, walk away. You are going to lose your money, okay? But we're about to get some money printing horse shit here. Watch. Or like whatever, like first fucking principles, bro. Oh my God, that's like a trigger word for me, man.
What is?
Yeah, so let me go back to first principles, Nick. I don't believe that either part of our mandate is generally at war with the other part. I do not.
Really just proved my fucking point. Yes, they are. Absolutely, they are. Only in a very strong economy they would be like there's some synergy there, but they absolutely are. You increase rates, economy slows down, the job numbers go bad. We're in some trouble. It helps inflation out, but it fucks Main Street and it fucks the capital markets and it fucks everybody. They lower rates, everything speeds up. The job market gets stronger. Even if it's a weak job market, it will they'll just start hiring because the ability to borrow money is so cheap that you just hire people just to hire people because you're just trying to look like you're growing fast. Your stock goes up. And then on top of that, if you print a bunch of money in the economy, that pumps up. That means money's everywhere. Money will get cheaper. Then it speeds it along. But then there's all this debt out there. So what? What are? Didn't I just say whatever he says? Here's some bullshit, and then he lied. Oh my god!
What is? Yeah. So let me go back to first principles, Nick. I don't believe that either part of our mandate is generally at war with the other part. I do not believe that price stability and full employment is an either-or proposition. There have been policymakers over the last several generations who have thought that there is a strict trade-off there. That isn't my judgment. In fact, my judgment is if and when we deliver on our remit, we're going to be satisfying both prongs. We're going to have price stability and full employment. And in fact, if you want to do the most harm to the labor markets, you would run a period of high inflation that's variable such that employers, businesses wouldn't really know what's going on. So I think the two parts of our mandate.
Like what we're in right now? Wait. Like what we're in right now? What? Did he just say if you want business owners to get fucked up, let's just keep it how it is right now.
Can't get worse.
Can't get any worse. He just fucking said, what?
And in fact, if you want to do the most harm to the labor markets, you would run a period of high inflation that's variable such that employers, businesses wouldn't really know what's going on. So I think the two parts of our mandate are equally important. We have no legislative orphans here. I've been talking mostly about price stability because we're doing pretty well collectively as a country, as policymakers on the employment side. But we're doing considerably less well on prices. That's why we describe them as elevated, and that's what's taken most of our discussion. In terms of transmission mechanisms of monetary policy, I think different tools work through different transmission mechanisms. The interest rates work through lending channels and credit channels, maybe confidence channels and foreign exchange. The balance sheet probably works through some other channels like signaling and portfolio balance. We're keeping full abreast of all these tools in making policy. But if the suggestion is somehow we're going to be fine-tuning aggregate demand so it catches supply, that's not my mental model. I don't think we're great in the fine-tuning business. We're trying to get supply and demand in broad order. But really what we're doing as we sit here today at this press conference is I think we've got a reasonable sense of what aggregate demand looks like in this economy. We're inferring aggregate supply. We're making a judgment about what productivity is. And in some sense, there's a race between supply and demand. And the surge in business CapEx in around AI, it's making that calculation a little harder to judge. But in the period ahead, we're going to be trying to judge just that.
And if I could ask, where exactly was the disagreement today? Was it about the inflation forecast, or was it something more around the risks, the tactics?
Yeah, so I'm going to I'll let the dissenters speak for themselves. The way I heard it over the last 2 days was overwhelming agreement on objectives and authority and commitment. I didn't hear anybody walking away from it. The judgments as to how best to achieve the price stability, that was probably the question that we were trying to answer. What's the best move? What's the best strategy? What's the best way to achieve it? And a second question that was asked is, the way I heard it over the last 2 days was overwhelming agreement on objectives and authority and commitment. I didn't hear anybody walking away from it. The judgments as to how best to achieve the price stability, that was probably the question that we were trying to answer. What's the best move? What's the best strategy? What's the best way to achieve it?
So like, I mean, they really are stuck. Like, it's like their tools are sort of limited. Like they do have a lot of economic data, but the tools are limited. They really only have like 4 mechanisms here. Yeah, maybe 5, but like 4 mechanisms really is keep rates the same, increase rates, lower rates, print money, and then I guess also print money with the overnight repo market. So like, but in reality, there's just 4. Like it's the box, right? The favorite one's the money print, and so it's like they're kind of like they're forced to stay there. So it's like the problem is like if they stay right here, nothing bad happens for the most part because it's like okay, maybe it's transitory because I know we just bombed Iran more today, but it's transitory, and then whenever that ends, right, that inflation will go down, and then prices will start stabilizing a little bit, and some of the trade will start moving through the Strait of Hormuz, which like 20% of the oil supply of the entire planet goes through that strait there. But they only have those 4 things, like keep rates the same, increase them, lower them, print money, right? And that's about all they can do. I mean, it like besides like they have a secret way to print money, which is not even secret anymore. Is like they could force every bank to take money more. Basically, it's like we're going to print $1 trillion. Every major bank has to take 50 billion or 100 billion, depending on size. And they normally do it like they don't like.
I am a bank, Miguel.
Yes,
I am a bank.
That's
Please
right.
give me $1 million.
I'll do great things with it.
I will. I promise. I promise.
I will pay back in 4 years.
I can't make that promise.
Be too big to fail, Charlie. Borrow more. You know what they say, Charlie. You owe a bank $1 million, you got a problem. You owe a bank $1 billion, they got a problem.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Life goals.
Was probably the question that we were trying to answer. What's the best move? What's the best strategy? What's the best way to achieve it? And a second question that was asked is, when do we need to make those harder calls? When do we need to make those decisions? And like I said to one of your colleagues, I was comforted that markets in the intermeeting period weren't reacting to us. They weren't reacting to dots or to speeches. They appeared more than ever to be reacting to real-time events. So they're gauging themselves how restrictive the Treasury curve should be. And that, I think, has been a useful development. We don't endorse any particular market move, but I'd also suggest we observe them with keen interest.
Janelle Marte with Bloomberg. Following up on that, there was more uncertainty in the markets about what the Fed would do at this meeting. To some extent, you might think that's what you want to see. But my question is about, is there a point at which you would not want to surprise the markets if they were pricing in something with higher certainty that was opposite of what you were intending to do? What are the risks that you see associated with that?
Yeah, so it's a good question.
Surprisingly good question from you. But that actually was a really good question. Is like, yeah. So like normally, we want let the markets react to everything, and then that's what it is. But what if like we get to a point where things are starting to get a little dangerous? Are you going to step in a little bit more and actually give a little guidance because you have to be the referee? Let's hear.
Surprise is not the objective function. Surprise is not what we're solving for. We have a clear North Star.
That's what they said they wanted the last 2 meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. They do want some surprise. But like I've said, they want to take blame away from themselves so they can come in like the hero, so they won't basically get regulated. It's sort of like the SEC's sort of going recently. Like if the Clarity Act doesn't pass, then we're just going to pass these rules. But in a way, it's sort of like you guys better pass this because then we'll put the rules that we want, and we might make it crypto friendly. Because the SEC apparently is now a little more crypto friendly.
Yeah,
sort of.
They are.
It's hard for me to believe, really. But like I believe more. Like they're 10% less cunt, but not like 40%. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. 30.
But watch the SEC comes out and they just totally have these fucking awesome fucking rules.
No crypto bro shall have to pay taxes for the next 100 years.
Praise the Lord. I had one, but I couldn't push it. It was too much, man. All right, that one's cool. Yeah. That would be sick. If you hold crypto assets for more than 5 years, you pay 5% in taxes only. Oh, all right. Shit.
I'm about to start up a trading center here in Vegas. Let's go.
Vesta Center.
The layering center.
What we're solving for is how to make the best decisions. Almost everything else should be in service to that goal. By not spoon feeding markets, by not previewing our decisions, by not sort of giving nudges and leans, my colleagues and I have found in the intermeeting period, what we're getting is the views from a very accomplished economist. That's the internals of financial markets. Instead of just repeating or echoing what we were saying back to us, they're giving us somewhat, not perfect, their own judgment. Surprises are not the objective, but at the same time, I would say we didn't come into this meeting feeling constrained by the full range of alternatives we had in front of us.
So some of your peers have continued to discuss how they think about policy decisions. And if you don't offer your reaction function or your way of thinking about it, how concerned are you that you're ceding control of the narrative?
So not very concerned. That's a short answer to the question. When some people that follow the...
What she's saying right there is basically, if you're not going to say nothing, then some other asshole is going to end up becoming the voice of which way direction the market goes. Are you cool with that? And doesn't that kind of make you as the chairman of the Federal Reserve less powerful? Look at that. He's already pissed. Look at his teeth. The shark teeth are out.
Control of the narrative.
So not very concerned. That's a short answer to the question.
As another fact, leave it to like an Afro-Latina right here to fucking stir up bullshit.
Question. When some people that follow the Fed say, well, we don't want your forecast. We don't want your dot. We just want your reaction function. Part of me hears what we really want is your forecast. And what we really want is your dot. In terms of reaction function, let me sort of disabuse people of a question that may or may not be real and be out there. Any central banker, especially a central banker where the labor markets are more or less at equilibrium. Any central banker, when he or she sees underlying inflation moving higher, he or she is more inclined to tighten policy. Again, when you've achieved the other side of your mandate and you see underlying inflation falling, he's more inclined to loosen policy. That's my reaction function, and I don't suspect it will cause people to not continue to pry for more, because the truth is, for a very long time in a lot of countries, coming out of the 2008 crisis, we're in crisis mode. We were purposefully providing a lot of information, trying to provide a lot of assurance, trying to tell people exactly what we're going to do, offering forward guidance with clarity as if we're tying our own hands behind our back. Well, in crisis mode, that strikes me as a very prudent policy.
So he is actually saying a lot here. Actually, he's like, yeah, it's like if this keeps happening in this direction, basically, if the labor market gets strong enough and inflation is going crazy, I can sacrifice the labor market. You see what I mean? They're just opposed. I mean, they're not like if everything's going good, we just leave it alone. But at some point, we look. All right, what two levers? Okay, the job market's fucking strong. All right, let's cause unemployments and divorces. So we can lower the inflation down and stuff and everything like that. And that's basically what he said there. It was like, yeah, if the labor market's sufficiently good right now, but we all know personally that's a crock of bullshit right now. AI has caused some layoffs, but people are getting rehired back because they're like, oh crap, we shouldn't have fired these people. But the problem is the people they're hiring back are the skilled labor and also people who have like 10, 15, 20 years in the business that were like, man, we shouldn't have fired those guys. But AI has slowed down the hiring of young individuals. It's sort of the same thing, sort of like what happened after 2008, where you had a college degree. I can tell you toilet paper was worth more, especially in 21. where like everyone had a college degree and basically you needed work experience. And how do I get work experience? If like, how am I going to have 4 years experience when it took me 4 years to get this fucking college degree, but I needed the college degree to get the 4 years as a trainee?
You're supposed to have 5 internships along the way and get treated like shit so bad that you come in and
that's right,
try to become partner.
That's right. Shit, I forgot. My bad. Oops. But
grovel,
yeah, grovel, slave. But it was impossible. And I knew a lot of people during that time that like they had just they were about to finish their bachelor's degree. Kind of like I had buddies of mine who were like in senior year in high school. By the time I became a senior, they were already in their junior year of college, basically, if I remember correctly. That they were like, I'm just going to stay for longer because it was really bad. Because like they had friends that were older than them when they got to college that were like fucking like not like it was bad. Like that, man, the graduating class of 08, 09, 10. Oh my God.
That was me.
Yeah.
Dude. You know what was crazy at the time?
What?
So like when I decided I'm going to go teach English in Japan,
okay,
I was looking at the starting salaries of people who had gone through about 6 years of work to get like some sort of master's towards being a doctorate of some kind, right?
Yeah.
Even those motherfuckers were all graduating. They're like making 50.
Yeah.
Like, but usually they should be making like 6 figures plus, like right out the gate,
Right,
you know?
yeah.
But
And that was the promise.
that was the lie.
The lie.
Yeah. But I was just like, well, I'm going to go have some fun. You guys suffer.
I'm going to go party with Japanese titties.
Hey, wasn't bad.
But Okinawa, here I come. But you know that's sort of like this whole entire thing is that like basically the whole Fed strategy is basically we want to make one side like usually if they could have it their way, they want the job market to be really strong and inflation to be down, and that's good. Like if we can have super strong labor market where like employers are basically fighting by increasing salaries to try to steal the best employees, and that trickles down into the economy and essentially causes like upwards movement, and they're hiring. It causes hiring streaks, and the economy is doing really well, and it's not increasing inflation much. Then we're winning, and they don't got to do anything, and then we're awesome. Everything's cool. But at some point, you're like, all right, we've like they also look. This is evil numbers that they look later on. Is that like okay, we kind of had like this 8-year bull run. How much has it really increased? Okay, so in total, we've kind of employed an extra 4.5% of the population. We can sacrifice 2.5 of them, the chopping block, to fix the mistakes here because we loaded the deck up for our banker buddies and people in the speculation markets and stuff.
Yeah, you can call it Robert McNamara math.
Right. That's why like during this is kind of like this isn't completely their fault because well, actually, who knows? They probably masterminded. Actually, no. What the fuck am I talking about? Yes, they did mastermind it. Fucking crazy. Like they had gold set at a certain strike price where like 1 ounce of gold you can turn it in for this much, but like you couldn't get the gold anymore. But when they took us off the gold standard, now the dollar started getting inflated, and this helped out asset prices. So if you're a boomer or anybody else and stuff, and you own property, stocks, for the most part, or were a business owner, a business owner can keep increasing his price as long as what he's selling is in demand. And you can always keep ahead of inflation, but you can in a weird way like keep your employees pay down. So it's like I think a report came out like in the 1970s, a minimum wage job was equal today of about $100,000 purchasing power. Obviously, there's less things to buy back then, but basically, you still can buy you can still buy a Gucci, you can still buy a house, you can still buy a
Sony
car.
Walkman.
Sony in the 70s.
Oh, I think you're talking the 70s. I was thinking 80s, but no. You had to,
but soon.
In the 70s, you had to have the.
We saw it at the World Fair.
You had to have the boombox. Yeah,
the boombox, which were pretty dope. Betamax, shout out, 8-track. But but roughly you could buy this. There's more things to buy now, and overall, like is your life better now than in the 70s? Absolutely. But maybe dating market, no. But also like every generation had their problems. Like one big problem that happened in the 70s and in the 80s was you had an influx of boomer women coming into the workforce because like after they got the vote and stuff. After they got the vote and everything like that, and then it still took a generation for like that to really trickle in to be like, all right, I am going to work. and then they had to work. Right. Which is what happened right after we got off the gold standard. Right. And
that led to a rise in serial killers and cult leaders, I heard.
Yes. Which is almost evaporated.
Direct
now.
correlation.
Direct correlation. But where before, if like your wife wanted to work, it was a boon or like really good for. I mean, that's kind of what happened. Is like the pay didn't go up, but like prices did go up, and it also was during a time too where like you had the oil embargoes and stuff, so price like in oil just went up really crazy, and then the Fed had to increase rates under Paul Volcker like 17%. You think rates are high right now at 3%? 17.05%.
Shit.
That's why the bank. This is also why this whole like notion where like just leave your money in the bank came from. That's where it got really popular because the bank was paying you 20% to leave your money in the bank.
Yeah, you actually used to be able to get like a few $100 from your parents into a savings account.
Oh, the CDs, right?
Basically that. Yeah, because you just put your money into a bank account for a college savings account. And by the time you got to college, you're supposed to have enough to pay for college. By the time it happened in the 2008-2009 financial crisis, you maybe paid for probably what?
Fries?
Like a year? Maybe 1 year of tuition? Maybe, right? But
so the higher the interest rates on the Federal Reserve, the least the more that speculative instruments are less attractive. They're much less attractive, basically. Because why would you do anything? You're like, fuck, I might as well just leave it at fucking JP Morgan Chase in my bank and shit in a either in a fucking like a 6-month CD and shit, and I'd earn more than 10%. If it's 20% during the 70s. And basically then it caused this whole thing where like this is why like a lot of boomers who did take the risk and started crazy companies, there wasn't much competition because you couldn't borrow money, or you had to borrow money from family and it was very difficult and stuff. And if you were able to do it, it just took off, and you were able. Essentially, it's kind of like almost when the Soviet Union fell in a way, where like there's it's sort of like what happens during why me and Charlie always persist is like every bear market, our competition fucking dies a glorious death.
Yeah,
and what
they get
really?
And a lot of it they give up.
Yeah, they give up. It is brutal. It is brutal. It is brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal, but like at the same time, it's like if you're in this industry, you already know that comes with the territory, comes as part of the game. But a lot of people don't want to accept that.
Yeah, and then they're in private just crying, going,
"Fagulite, fagulite, fagulite."
My favorite comment's like, "What the fuck did I walk into?" I love that comment every time I see it. But these are all the things that kind of happen, and it really like sets you back and makes you really think and stuff. So like. In a really messed up way, like we have grown accustomed to this demon.
Yeah.
But it's still a demon.
The devil you now know since 1913?
1913, yeah. Fall in line.
113 year. They're in their lucky 113th anniversary.
But this is the whole thing too. I mean, let's not get into the whole Titanic and the whole thing there, but like basically without the Federal Reserve, we couldn't have had World War I because they couldn't have been able to print the money.
Right.
So like we wouldn't have been able to the same capacity. But the United States always has a genius policy is like, all right, let's start this whole World War stuff up. And then we sell everyone equipment for 2 years, and then we come in and mop them up.
So what you're saying is the U.S. created the best Ponzi.
Yeah. we jump. Well, yeah. Like we sell the Ponzi. And then we save you out of the Ponzi, and then blame you like dog. You see, like we fucking saved your ass in World War I and II,
but only the ones we like.
Yeah, right.
The others, they get really bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me go back here a little bit. Damn, he looks like he was boxing.
It's in a crisis. We're in crisis mode. We were purposefully providing a lot of information, trying to provide a lot of assurance, trying to tell people exactly what we're going to do, offering forward guidance with clarity as if we're tying our own hands behind our back. Well, in crisis mode, that strikes me as a very prudent policy. But in more benign conditions, it strikes me as worth revisiting. But markets and market participants and reporters have learned to devour all that information. So I take seriously that the pullback of forward guidance requires some transition, Reform isn't easy, but our general judgment is going to help us make better decisions, and in so doing, satisfy our remit.
Paul Weissman. It's coming. There's a mic coming.
Thank you. When you talk about the 2% inflation target, what measure are you relying on?
Yeah, so I'll give two answers. First, let me give the proper standard answer. The Federal Reserve every January outlines a statement of purposes and strategy. And in that strategy document, which I believe was dated January of this year, it describes a measure of PCE inflation as the objective function there. I have enough of my own, so that's our number. We're sticking with it. Who knows, come after next January, what we might say about strategy. I suspect the task forces might have something to add. But I'll say this, some version of the Lucas critique, some version of Goodhart's law in economics should remind us that when we talk about measures of inflation or something else, and we describe those measures as being consistent with our objectives, we might make them such that they're not very good measures or very good objectives. Broadly, if you said to me standing in front of you, I abide fully by the strategy document, we're going to deliver 2% inflation and not a whisper more. But to achieve that, I'm looking at a broader set of inflation data than PCE. So without sort of fully revealing my cards, I'm trying to understand, like my colleagues, what's the underlying general.
I mean, this is pretty fair. I mean, he's like, this is the corporate answer, which is really nice to hear. It's like, yeah, it's like 2%, but also like I am looking at other things, but I can't say that because then that's then people will know what I'm projecting more or less. And then like this, we'll just go back to this whole thing where they know what the referee's doing.
Yeah,
basically. But like, if I was the Federal Reserve Chairman and I had to answer this question, I would have answered exactly the same in the beginning where like, this is the corporate answer. But here's the whole thing. In a perfect world, you'd want inflation to be at 2%, but that's not the perfect world. You'd actually probably want inflation to be at like 2.2, 2.1%, because then as it fluctuates a little up or down, you have a little bit of time there versus like I would explain that you don't really want inflation to be below 2% because that you have a deceleration of money and stuff. So it's like if you're in the position where you're exactly 2% and then inflation further slows down, you get to this whole point where like now the debt becomes much more realer and it's very bad for the economy. It can cause deflation and it's a little dangerous basically. So like there's the reason they have the 2% inflation rate in the United States or in most central banks is because at 2% over the life of a 15 or 30 year bond or 13 or actually 15 or 30 year loan, that loan amount and that loan payment you're paying essentially evaporates in terms of real money, in terms of like, because your wages should be going up, you should be earning more money. The whatever you put your borrowing money on should appreciate up as well. And on top of that, so it becomes this whole thing where like you borrow now to get the growth now, and then later on, the inflation will make that loan basically not really affect you at all. So that's why like your parents bought a house, the first 10 years of the loan is the real hard part. The next 10, it's really like you can afford it, you're fine. It's just like, and then the last 10, it's free. Like I have plenty of my friends' parents or my friends' parents or my parents and stuff who bought their house in the early 2000s, and you know they're pretty much like it's paid off or it's about to be paid off in the next 2 years, and the first 10 years, like let's just say that it was like $1,200 to like $2,000, and now in most areas like where they live, right, like rent's $5,000, and their mortgage is like less than $2,000, and then it's like, damn, this is fucking free. It's awesome, right? But how long? But it took them 20 years to get to that point. But that's where the inflation comes in that made that loan amount it's a rounding error at this point.
Yeah. How do you keep people from, actually owning shit over a long period of time? Just make it extra hard.
And actually, Charlie's actually mentioned something that I actually have never brought up, but like what Charlie's talking about there is that also there's tons of people that keep refinancing and never get to that point, because like there's this whole thing, there's a strategy of like buy and hold does make you rich over time. So like now, like you're never gonna lose your property because like as long as you don't lose your job. That's,
and
that's the important part. You don't lose your job.
Yeah, and even with property tax, right? They still have to pay something so it's not absolutely free. Where at some point, they should be able to pay it off in a reasonable amount of time, so that way it is like actually theirs, absolutely free.
Yeah.
Zero property tax, but like. Yeah, the idea of property tax is just kind of
it's asinine. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's a way to steal from people, especially if their kids can't pay it.
The only argument I have heard for like property tax as a pro, and it's only on a social economic side of it, not like morally. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, as like a entire society, I could see there's probably an argument for it, right?
It does pay for some services
from the individual level. Man, it sucks.
It sucks. It pays for some services. And if it's being used fucking well, lol. But some of it is, right. Like I think this number's correct. 10 to 20% of the money is being stolen, but 80% is being used for its supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, what's the part of LA that burned down all the rich people's houses? The Palisades or something?
Was it Palisades? Yeah, let's just say it's Palisades. Probably is true.
Whatever area that was, it was like, yeah, we've paid tons in property tax over the years. And the state's not even going to divert water to like save our houses, bro. Like
but fish, Charlie, the fish.
Oh yeah,
this rainbow.
The gay fish.
The gay fish.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Gay.
So like, there's that. Then there's the behavioral economic sort of side of it is that, which I do agree with. It is true by having that it forces. This is one reason that plagued Europe for a while. Now they do have property tax now in Europe and other things, so they're in the same slave fucking trap that we all are now. But like, there was this whole thing where like some people did have land and didn't really pay taxes on it for a long time, and it did cause a lot of stagnation because they didn't have to do anything with it.
Yeah.
So it does cause the movement of land, and it does cause people to have like, let me sell this part off or develop it, or it puts pressure, and then like so it keeps the families working to try to do something.
There can be other ways to get that.
No, there definitely is. But I'm saying this is like one of the few things. But it's bullshit. It shouldn't. You should own your land. Like once you pay. Like I understand. You're like I could even. I mean, I don't like this, but if you pay property taxes while you're getting the property, and once it's paid off, no more property taxes or something like that. Or
yeah, exactly. Something like there's got to be some middle ground.
Yeah. Or like I could even see that. Like I could agree with this one. Like a middle ground here of like, okay. Your main residence, you pay no property tax on because it's your main residence. But investment properties, you will pay property tax.
Yeah, anything where you live like less than 3 months a year or something like that. Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, or maybe one vacation home. Let's not be fucking cheap here. Right? Like, you're in my house in Monaco. No, my house in Gainesville, Florida. But and Florida is playing with that because it's really the property taxes are really it's really state. Really, it's just for the state basically for the most part.
Local areas.
Yeah. Taxes. What? But anyway.
Jimmy's like, what are taxes?
But like property tax sucks. And like, it's fucking terrible. But like a lot of, I mean, that's why I like Nevada a little bit because they have a business with gambling and entertainment that like property tax is pretty modest here. But in other states like Texas, land was cheaper there. It's starting to catch up to where it's starting to get to the point where it's starting to get kind of expensive, and their property taxes are very high in some counties to the point where like some people in real estate are like, this is not it's becoming very not business friendly, basically.
Yeah, living in Biloxi has a decent argument as well for not even taxing the property or the investment properties.
Why tax investment properties or investment properties where tax deferred, more second homes will be available for rentals, bring down housing costs? Because it's emotional, because it's like because you have to I'm thinking about it as a way as a politician would sell it to people and stuff. Because then people would say like, no, you're basically like why are we that's the problem is the majority of people are not business owners. They're if they're lucky, they own a property and they work for somebody, they're going to be like, why are we giving we always give tax breaks to all the rich and the people who have the properties and stuff. So I'm thinking of the only way this shit would pass.
Right.
Which would be that. And then most people like, let's not be like, it's bullshit. The old people, why are they paying taxes on a property they paid their whole life and they live there? That's fucked up. It's true. It is true. And in a way to it, it's also like your investment properties are a business you're trying to make money on. So like,
So
There
what you're
is
saying
that.
is we have to pander to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, I'm a real estate broker. I own multiple properties. It's backwards. Yes, it is, of course. Low property taxes are more. Yeah, of course. Or we could have but then this is more generationally. Like there has been talks about like giving more tax break to the young, which I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But then it comes to the point in time, like you also can't tax the fuck out of the old people because they're not even working anymore, and then most of them are not that rich, and you then you only tax the really wealthy boomers and stuff. But then
we're gonna become the more wealthy boomers. We all got no.
I just got rich. What the fuck? And then it comes down to okay, so we'll just tax the working. Then it becomes this whole thing where like everyone's dreading like as soon as I turn 35. They're going to like basically then it becomes like because the main tax basis for the United States, it really is 30 to 55. After that, like most people, there's a crazy chart when it comes to testosterone and like taxes and IQ where like basically if you're a low IQ individual, like your income stops going up around 35 to 40. And it has a lot to do with basically you're doing more physical jobs, more like that, and basically you're kind of stuck at a like
you get to big middle management. You can't
or
really
even
progress.
slightly lower, or even slightly lower. But you're able just to work the maximum hours. You're still young enough. You're breaking your body down, so your income maxes out right there.
Those are all the people that get fired in their early 50s because they were made redundant.
And the average person in the United States kind of maxes out around mid 40s.
R.I.P.
Yeah. And then you have people that like are in better careers or good salesmen or just that they're and most Americans top out somewhere in their 50s in terms of income. And then you're coasting on that income into your retirement age and then it goes away. And then there's some people that just keep making more money forever. But that is a very small minority. And usually they're one percenters or more.
So the goal is to become like Charlie Munger and
Champa, you're fucked, bro.
What's his name? Charlie Munger and
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, we just got to become those guys, and we'll be in the 1%. There we go.
That's why you have to. And this is why, like Jerome Powell, not Jerome Powell. I'm sorry, not Jerome Powell, but what's called
Warsh.
Not War. No, I'm sorry. I'm like the Rich Dad Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki created the quadrant. Is that it doesn't matter if you're a specialist or you're an employee or a business owner. Everyone has to get into the capital class.
Yep.
You have to become an investor. Doesn't matter how you're making money, even if you're W-2 or 1099 or a business owner, right? Hopefully, you all get to like you at least have a side business. You have your 1099 or your W-2. Hybrid, and then you're dumping your money into capital class. But there is very few people that are like they just make all their money on. You can do this in crypto, where like eventually you can just play the markets and you can live off of crypto, but like you have to be super smart about it and you have to play like long-term cycles and you have to be smart with your stuff. But that's a rare population.
Yeah, with a lot of size too.
With a lot of size to it and stuff. Normally, this is why we tell people don't quit their job, and then typically too, like your job. Like it's especially for males, it gives you it's your guiding North Star in a way. It makes you feel important. And also we were creatures of habit. So like your dad loses his job or he's hurt. Like I saw this with my own father as well. Like, because, he hasn't been able to work for the last 2 years because he's had knee surgeries and he's had all this work done and stuff. And he's still got one more knee surgery coming up in the next month. Pretty major one, and full knee replacement. And he's gone a little like sad a little bit. He's not depressed, but he's like, I'm not getting up. I'm not telling the guys what to do anymore. I'm just around the house. He's like, well, I feel like a fucking bitch. He said it in Spanish. Like, I feel like a fucking like a woman and shit. Just here at the house and stuff. It sucks. And we do get a lot of our identity from our work, and it's normal because if we imagine just doing something for 40, 50 years, like of course, and you don't do it anymore, and you like it, or you learn to like it. It's a big thing. That's why having that mid-career transition is very it's either very good or very bad. Or in this also, your whole life can be shaken up with a divorce, or there's a reason midlife crises happen because it's like around that point in time. It sometimes happens younger where it's kind of like what you did, Charlie, where if I don't make this move now,
you're never gonna be able to, not because you can't, but more because you'll have too much to risk.
Correct. Yeah. Which is scary, and then you can get compounded if then you're married, you have a family, and you're like you have to. You have more like
responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like, you know, it sucks, you know. And then that's the other thing too, is like once you see that, you see your parents get sick and stuff, or like have medical care, you're like, damn, dude, what the hell would I would feel sad if I was in bed for like months on end. That's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal, dude. It's brutal. And we are all heading that way. Hopefully it just doesn't happen to your 70s.
Yeah.
Realize change in prices that are happening in the economy. It is not a perfect science. I might have said 42 days ago, I've got a task force for that, but we have a data problem. See whether we can't separate the noise from the signal. And so if you would hear a message from me, yes, I care about what the PCE prints are. I care about what the contributions are from CPI and everything else. But my lens is broader than that, even though the remit is quite narrow.
Mike McKee.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio and Television. I'm struggling a little bit with some of what you've said today, and maybe you can help clarify this. You've said over and over again that your job is to bring down prices, to get prices stable, to hit your target, and that you will hit your target. The market says you're not there yet because they've raised rates, but all you've talked about today is talking about it. And it's not like members of the committee weren't there before you talking about it. So I guess what the American people might be asking is, what are you waiting for?
Yeah. So
I'm gonna rewind that because that was a brutal question, man. That was a pretty decent one. He's like, what the fuck you doing, dog?
Radio and television. I'm struggling a little bit with some of what you've said today, and maybe you can help clarify this. You've said over and over again that your job is to bring down prices, to get prices stable, to hit your target, and that you will hit your target. The market says you're not there yet because they've raised rates, but all you've talked about today is talking about it. And it's not like members of the committee weren't there before you talking about it. So I guess what the American people might be asking is, what are you waiting for?
Yeah. So believe it or not, this press conference is not all I've done today. We have spent an inordinate amount of time in the last 2 days, 2 weeks, looking at our monetary policy strategy, evaluating our tools, thinking hard about the sources of data that we have at our disposal and we wish we had. We've also thought hard about the period ahead. What among these questions will be answered with more clarity, certainly not certainty?
Man, ever since the Clarity Act, like it's a trigger word for me. Clarity. Huh?
No.
That was a very good question. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's basically responding as, bro, I just got the job. Give me like a minute, dude.
He's like, but I do work.
Or like, I've only been here 8 weeks, dude. Like, you want me to course correct the shit fucking Jerome's done? Been here for like a decade?
Yes.
Well, actually, technically, when did he get it? 2018. Yeah, 2018. So so Jerome was in there, what, 7 years? Yeah, 7 years. Yeah, so he had been there a minute. He's like, I've been here 8 weeks and 4 days. I haven't been counting, but
so
I tell you, like, Bloomberg always asks the best questions. They really do. Like, you had the Afro Latina asking crazy shit, and you got this dude coming in for the fucking slug shot, and they're coming after him.
Decision we'd made today, the discussion we had in that room, was the farthest thing from inertia I can imagine. As a point estimate at this very moment, in a choice between two alternatives, you heard the results of it. But I would tell you that this discussion was far more robust, and our thinking about how best to achieve that target is advanced. And over the coming months, I expect it to be advanced much more significantly. If I were to steal a follow-up question, I won't let you won't be giving it up. If I were to steal a follow-up question, well, what's the world think about what you've done? I would again reiterate, what we do isn't just about what we say. It's not just about what we do. We're in the performance business. And so if I look at the Treasury curve, if I look at the dollar, if I look at a lot of things that are internals inside of financial markets, I think what they're
broadly telling me is we're fucked. It is, that'd be crazy. He was like, the dollar shit, the treasury shit, the whole world shit. Every currency on this planet is shit.
You know, it'd be hilarious. He pulls out, he's like, you know, there's never been a fiat currency that survived the test of time, sir.
That's the one line I'd be like, shut the fuck up. The fucking stock market's going oh. Bro, they would fucking castrate this guy who said that shit, bro.
I double dog dare him too.
Oh my God, man. That's crazy.
saying is that this committee does own it, has the credibility to deliver it, and they believe, like I do, that we will. But I don't want to leave you with a misimpression. We've got no magic wand. This isn't something that we're going to be able to carry out in days or weeks, but we're going to deliver on the responsibility that Congress gave us. And today's meeting and the preparation for today's meeting was an important step towards that destination.
I'd like to follow up on the task forces as well and ask, what vetting did you do of the people that you appointed to the task forces? In particular, given Mark Andreessen's substantial political spending, $25 million in just the past year to back candidates who oppose stricter AI regulation.
Shout out to my boys at Bloomberg. God damn, nigga.
Dragging Andreessen's name through the mud.
Fuck, I thought, okay, now he's softballing the next question, and he's like, with the knife at the throat. Talking about the super PACs and shit.
I'd like to follow up on the task forces as well and ask, what vetting did you do of the people that you appointed to the task forces? In particular, given Mark Andreessen's substantial political spending, $25 million in just the past year to back candidates who oppose stricter AI regulation, how can the public be confident that a committee he co-chairs will provide an independent assessment of AI's economic effects rather than one aligned with the interests of the AI industry?
Yeah, so I selected 15 incredible subject matter experts to tackle 5 of the most important questions that if we get the answers right, we're going to do a far better job in delivering. And if we get the answers wrong, we have a problem. The comfort that I can give you
is that $25 million isn't shit. I'm way more expensive than that. We print, I don't know if people know this, but we print money here at the Fed.
I make sure I go in and grab some every day.
You see my
I'm
house
like
in
Willy
Monaco.
Wonka, motherfuckers.
And 2, I'm extremely wealthy. My wife's a billionaire. 25 million, I wipe my ass with that.
This man hasn't made bad decisions.
Do you see my skin? L'Oreal. Which I actually know his family. I think the family is L'Oreal.
Yeah, his family. Yeah, that's the family.
Fucking LO. Dude, I would have loved that response, bro. That would have been like, so son, papa, right back to you.
You and your listeners we're the decision makers. The chairman of the board of the Federal Reserve and the members of the board and the FOMC, we will be the consumers of the outputs from 5 different committees. The judgments we're making will be informed by, but not at all determined by, these outside groups. My theory of the case in establishing the task forces were to pick people with extraordinary talent, depth of expertise, and a divergence of views inside every committee, so they too can have a family fight. This is not outsourcing to people that aren't known and haven't been vetted. This is seeing whether new ideas can catalyze a broader, better, more informed discussion inside the room. And I'm very confident that we're going to be able to do that. I am impressed by the credentials of these 15 people. And full disclosure, I've known almost all of them for a very long time. And I think they're going to give their best views on the subject. But ultimately, these are decisions we're going to make, and we're accountable to our oversight committees and to the remit Congress gave us to deliver.
I think it's a good place to end it right there. That was a kill shot. That was really 2 back-to-back. Damn, Bloomberg's out here just sliming dudes, bro. That's crazy, man. At first, I was like, man, this Afro Latina girl is like saying some slick shit, and then here comes this guy right here, man. God damn, that's pretty funny. But that is the FOMC meeting, you guys. Let me full screen this here. There we go. I think we may have to switch the angles here.
I don't. Yeah, it's. I'll be the what do you call it? The voice from the ether until we get Kyle back here.
That's right. But he basically said, like, I know these people pretty well. Like, we're in charge of hiring them, and basically, like, we don't take that'd be good. Like, we don't take super PAC money. Like, we're like, it's fun, you know.
We just insider trade, Miguel.
Definitely is. Did you? No, I might need you to.
Oh, did I not forward that to you? I thought I
No.
did. Go under. Yeah, it should be.
Oh,
there.
is that the new one? Okay. Cool. All right. Just need to go back in there. Let's read some super chats real quick. Let's see what we got here. Shout out to good old Ken Rose, man, with the $2 super chat, man. Appreciate you, brother. Nice, man. Yay! There we go. So we got XX Vine, 7 Vine for the $5 super chat. What may happen to crypto in 2027 if the stock market crashes like 2008 or worse? Since crypto wasn't tradable then, could it also 401ks hit zero? Not zero. Like, so, okay, I'll answer the second half. So 401ks would just go down at the same percentage that they're in the whatever ETFs are in, but but because a 401k can be self-directed, or there's ways in there where you can basically, like, there's most jobs basically have you in, these are the Vanguard funds that we have you in. Other jobs allow you to maybe just choose the provider, or like they may have multiple, like they give you more options. Some jobs, like if you have like a Safeway job or a Lawns or something like that, they just like, you have these funds, you can just do these. That's all you can do. But we match you. Like, all right, cool. Those won't go to zero, but they will go down equal to what the market goes down. And then there's some people that are in levered ETFs. They can lose so much, they might as well be at zero. And also, like, these levered ETFs, if you're in them, they charge fees the longer you're in. So it's like, you could have this whole thing where, like, the price like this, it goes down and then goes right back up, but you're actually lower now because that went down, it was levered out, you lose more, and then the percentage you go up, because it's a smaller amount, you don't go up as much anymore. So you end up lower. So like if you have $100 and it goes down 20% and then it goes back up to $100, you should be at $100, but you actually, because of the leverage, if it's 3x levered, you go down to $40 and then it goes back up that 20%. You go up 60% on that $40 and you're at like $62 versus the other guys. He's back at 100. You're at 62. You're down almost 40%.
So they call it Jew math, Miguel.
Man. And then some people in the 401ks have all of their. This is how people go to, because they love putting this on TV when the stock market. I lost everything. How? Probably because they had all their money in one stock.
Yeah.
And that company went to zero. That's normally how, because you shouldn't be able to. If you're in ETFs or you're like spread across, I'm in Apple, I'm in a couple things here, I'm in Disney, you could be down a lot, but you shouldn't go to fucking zero. Like, worst case, you could be down 50% because things are really bad. But like normally you would have like 20, 30. It's almost like a crypto portfolio. You could be like 70% ETFs, 30% stocks. Because a lot of people are like, all right, I like to pick stocks a little bit. Okay, I know them, but like I feel like I can. Okay, that's fine. They allow you to do that. So you might be like, I'm in some of the hot tech stocks that can go to zero. I don't think Apple and a couple other ones, they have monopolies, are going to be fine. But like they could still underperform. Or even a Disney, which did incredible for a long time, has been doing terrible because they went into wokeism, right? But it's still a very large corporation, so you're still like fine, but you'd be down for a long time, right? Versus if you're in the ETFs, eventually when the stock market recovers back up, you'll be back to all-time highs and even higher, especially as you continue to DCA. But people gamble and have all their money in fucking speculative tech stocks, and they're now in the second rung of like experiment. Like the people who went to zero were people who were like in the most degenerate, fucking high shooting real estate corporations that all went bust and stuff, and REITs that went bust during 2008, and they lost all their money because they went for the fast money that's getting fast and they're paying high dividends, and then they go, I lost everything. Or they borrowed on it, speculated, lost, and then the stocks went down, they got liquidated, then they lost everything. So it's usually from the consumer doing retarded things. This is why we have the risk webinar. Keep you from that from happening, basically. And And on the first part and stuff, if a stock market crash would have happened, basically we'd get something comparable to what happened in 2025. We'd get Ethereum going from $4,000 down to $1,400, and we get Bitcoin. How long did Bitcoin crash? I can't remember anymore. How long did it crash in that?
In which year?
In 2025. I remember when we crashed back down. And was it?
You mean the beginning of the year?
Yeah. Did it go to 80? No, it went lower, right?
Well, I'd have to look at the chart, but yeah, it could have gone from. Well, let me.
Let's pull it out. Let's pull it
up.
Pull it up for this guy, man. Full port SpaceX. Fuck it.
So yeah, after that, right? It had gone from 108,000 down to 75.
Okay, so it's close. Okay.
And then it went to new all-time highs.
Yeah, so it would. So basically, it would ruin 6 months of the bull run. And then we would start recovering back up, and then we'd start hitting in a better position. But the stock market would be kind of like, oh man, so it would temper 28, and then we'd be still hot for 29, basically. And it actually would, I wouldn't say healthy, but it was more of like it would you'd have more time to DC at the lower prices, and marginally by 2 years later after the crash. So if you look at the stock market, like from like wherever the bottom was, or whatever, like 2008, 9, 10, wherever the bottom was for the stock market, 2 years later, it was going back in the right direction, and you were up a pretty decent amount if you bought that bottom, right? So you'd be good, and we'd be in assets that are good. Like oh no, my Bitcoin and Ethereum went down. Is Bitcoin and Ethereum going to disappear? No. I'm in Solana. Is it going to disappear? Of course no. It's fine, right? You're in some of these top things. Pulse chain, fuck those fuckers. I mean, like exterminators couldn't kill those motherfuckers. Like, I mean, so they're fine. They'll be here, right? Price would be down, but we'd survive. It's like we would survive, and we come out of it by the end of 20. It depends if it happened in early 27. By the end of 27, we're up a decent amount from those lows because Bitcoin is a lot more reactive and can bounce, and people see that as an opportunity. But yeah, it would slow down the bull run. Basically, it would kind of give us like an accumulated 1 year of shit. But there would be there'd be money made bouncing off the lows there, and we'd capitalize on that basically. So down isn't permanent. That is true. But the bull market would still subside. I mean, it would have to be something like the only way it could possibly cancel the bull run, and we would tell you this, is like the stock market actually went down 80%. Something ridiculous.
Shit, yeah.
Like it was like it was that bad. We're like, okay, that may be enough to like doing cycles. Fucking
reset a lot of shit.
It reset a lot of shit, but we just survive, and then it'd probably take 2 years. If it's that bad in the recovery, it'd probably take 2 years to be back. So we may still have an okay 29 or maybe end of 28, but it would be like, yeah, it fucking, the money would still, but the math is still the same. If you buy that low and you DCA in that low when everyone's fucking scared, you would make a fuck ton of money, and they would that generational bond, that COVID crash. If you bought that COVID crash like we did, that was very fucking profitable.
Yeah.
That was very, very profitable, man. So absolutely. Can't believe Nexo got the Mika, bro. What the fuck? That shit fucked me up, dude. That was so crazy. That company was doing all kinds of fuck shit back in the 21 cycle, man.
It was.
Allegedly.
Why the past tense, Miguel?
Allegedly, Charlie. Allegedly. Why past tense?
They must have done some fuck shit to get those contacts to get them where they're at now.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
They must have played the Benjamin Netanyahu meme a lot.
But even if that was to happen, you guys, we would be here to help you guys through that. And we'd be, I mean, honestly, I'd be shocked at first, and then time to lock in.
Yep.
And this is where we show you where to lock in, you guys. Full screen that, Kyle. The Crypto Mindset Q3 goes live August 5th. Q3 thesis, where we'll tell you what happens over the next quarter as well into going into 2027. How we plan to make it, survive, and thrive. And then we go into August 6th with the Risk Management Webinar 101. The most important webinar, I would say, how not to get wrecked and how to continue to survive. We're going to talk about real life lessons in there, portfolio percentages, and how to allocate properly. We have more advanced portions of how to allocate more accurately in like August 10th, as an example, like with diversified and concentrated portfolios, and fast and slow money on August 18th. But as well as we also have webinars on more advanced DCA and kind of laddering in, laddering out of what's called webinars in the Crash App course as well.
Yeah.
That happens later on in the month.
Yeah, in the risk management webinar, I'm tempted to add like a group of slides, just how to be a crypto cockroach. Like
Yes.
Seriously, bro.
I know
like,
it's true though. Yeah, yeah.
It's like
absolutely.
if you can learn how to survive, right, then you can thrive.
It's true because like when BTC crashed to $3,000 in 2019, people thought it was going to 1,000 or lower. It was dead.
Yeah,
like the people were saying it's going dead. I mean, we had Tony Vase. Is Tony Vase? Tony Vase was saying like $1,000 BTC.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And where's he now? I don't know.
Well, hopefully on a beach.
But we bought, and when people were saying like, I mean, people are saying 10,000, or we're going back to. I did hear this argument. I kind of understood it a little bit, where I was like, we're probably going to go back to the $9,000 level because we were stuck there for such a long time. Like it's overnight. It's overnight. You know, like because like previous all time highs or previous resistances become basically the support later on when we crash down to those levels, basically. But it was already so cheap already. We were already like below the 2017 top. So we're like, me and Charlie looked at each other, we talked, and we're like, yeah, we got to start now. Yep. And then that was the low. And I did have the talk with Charlie, and we were kind of like, okay, should we start DCing her in 19? But we kind of trusted her gut a little bit. Like, and we're like, because during the time it hit 19, it just kept going. I was like, okay, let's just see where it starts slowing down. And it started slowing around 16, then 15. It was getting slower, the drop. And we're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
So there is that is a little bit of operator set. Like,
yeah, because I when we did that first one, we were thinking, well, should we wait until the end of the year of 2020 to do it? And I was like, no, we're going to be in new all-time highs by then. So let's go.
Let's go. And then we fish for you. This course is about teaching you how to fish, but we do fish for you and give you the top 50 coin list. Now, obviously, this coin list changes every quarter because new coins get added. Some coins, something bad happens, and we think that's more of a death nail. We kind of take it out, or we sometimes leave it in there as a cautionary tale. Like, you should know about this because we don't want you to fall for this. Like if we had this course back in 2016, we'd have warning flags all over, like BitConnect. We would have told you guys, like, as little as I knew about crypto in 2016 and 17, I knew enough to like, this BitConnect shit is a scam.
Yeah.
No. Yes. But if you didn't fall for Herbalife, Amway, maybe Cutco is a little more respectable, but still, you didn't fall for MLMs. You may have a bit of a resistance, a little bit of a tolerance, a bit of a almost like a panacea against all these crypto herpes that are out here.
So that internship that I had at Cutco Cutlery one summer was actually worth it.
It may have been. Well, that's why I said it's kind of respectable because like you do learn some sales.
Well, yeah,
there is sales skills that I learned.
Such a sketch company.
Yeah,
bro. Like, you know how they hire at they give you a job interview where they like basically pitch you a timeshare, and then like they what do you call it? We're like, but we don't know who we're going to hire, so we're gonna and we don't want to make anybody feel bad, so we're gonna call whoever gets hired while they're on their way home. They call fucking everybody, bro. Everybody. Oh, you got the job.
We only had 3 spots, but you got it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
our intern accidentally called back everybody. This hasn't happened before. I had to call our CEO, and
turns out you guys are just an exceptional group. Just an exceptional group of people.
The grift.
Now go and ask.
That has happened.
Now go and ask every one of your family friends.
Damn it.
Every single one of your family friends. Call them tonight. Make sure you set up a meeting. No, you're not going to sell them anything, Miguel. You're not going to sell them anything. You're just going to practice selling things to them. It's okay. You can do it.
And the worst is, like, I know this with like Herbalife a little bit, is that like they have to keep their. It's almost like a casino thing where like you want to keep the top status.
Yeah.
You have to sell a certain amount of points. So they make it like a game, and it's like they start like, well, I do like the cereal, So they'll start buying groceries and sort of things like that they were going to buy anyway. And they're like, yeah, it's a great way. Like if you're going to buy storage, you might as well get the points and then you can just sell to other people. But like, so you can keep this status that you built.
It's like Kick,
Yeah.
You're only as good as your last stream.
Yeah.
They start deleting them off.
Pyramid schemes. Yes. MLMs, dog.
Yeah. I mean,
oh my God.
Yeah. Going through like the different layers of what's the worst ones to the least worst ones is kind of interesting, actually. But
yeah. And then we give you 2 days off there between the 7th and the 8th to catch up. Once again, I got to say this. I got to say this every stream. Yes, every single webinar here posted is recorded. They are recorded. You sometimes do miss. There is some spicy stuff in the unrecorded, but that's for the true Marines, the moon gangers that stick through the whole webinar. But everything is recorded for the actual teaching parts of it and stuff like that, and most of the Q&A at the end, and is usually out somewhere between 12 to 24 hours after the fact. Basically, sometimes it downloads a little quicker. We can get a little faster, but most times it's 8 hours plus.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be a few more extra non-recorded sections on this one. I don't know. I just get that kind of feeling.
Beautiful. And then we're back from the break with the best swing trades of quarter 3.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a lot of plays there, and there's a reason why we put the Q&A there, because there's so much. We've just given you 4 extremely densely packed webinars, and like normally we have the Q&A a little bit later. Like I would say, like normally somewhere around the 13th, but we've kind of moved it ahead here to the 19th, just because to the 9th, because there's so much information that we're like, you know what, like this is a good place to stop. Any questions, as well as like we know we were going to get a lot of questions from that morning webinar, because we're going to give a lot of sauce there for the swing trades in quarter 3. That Q&A there will like just answer a lot of that, as well as like, there's a lot of coins to go through. Hopefully we get a lot of risk management questions. And
you mean risk management in risk versus reward? How much should I go in?
All in, man.
Everything. Some coins looking good.
Yeah. And then we go into diversified versus concentrated portfolios, which is a very important webinar. It's a lot of it's theory in terms of like, it is sort of choose your own adventure, because at the end of the day, you are the one that's going to push the green button or the red button, just like you guys have to push the green or the red button. Push the green button on getting into the CMC, but it's about talking about the pros and cons of being in one coin or just one ecosystem, or having many coins, or also in the negatives of just being like you have 40, 50, 60 coins. I have met a couple of people that have been able to handle that level there, but they're people that are like, they have a lot of free time, or they basically have like a tech job, and they're able to just be on their portfolio all the time while working. And crypto really is like a big part of their life, right? Where like you may be in a sort of job where you need to really, really focus. So a lot of the way we've kind of recommended this is based off your lifestyle and figuring out what lifestyle you have, and just being very real with yourself. That like, I really only have about 4 hours in the afternoon to like really like, which is actually decent. That's a lot of time actually.
Yeah.
Or like I can't listen to streams at work and stuff, but when I'm off, I catch up there, and I've got, I got 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. I can mess around a little bit, move the coins around and stuff. And we have portfolio recommendations for that individual, or the portfolio recommendations we've made for like individuals like Justin Wall or like, Fresh and Fit, because they're guys that are very busy, and they're, as soon as they wake up, they're streaming, they're tweeting, they're networking, they're coming up with ideas, and you need a portfolio that's very bulletproof and very like much more simple and streamlined, and you can be much more effective in terms of concentrated wealth and stuff. But you have to take much less risk, because you won't be able to stay on top of more riskier assets that could provide more returns, but also could create some very dramatic losses during those downswings.
Yeah.
So all that we'll talk about there. And then look at that swing trading technical analysis. You want to go into that, Charlie?
Sure. Yeah. So the best swing trades in Q3, that webinar, we give you the fish in the swing trading technical analysis. We teach you how to fish. So we go through all the best practices behind the CC algo and how to trade along with that. We give you access to the Cultivate Crypto algo dashboard, where you see the buy sell signals from the algo on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, plus 3 other ones that we specifically choose for this quarter. And yeah, I think it's good to show people how to use the dashboard effectively, because during the rest of the quarter they'll get continued buy and sell signals on those. If they want to upgrade to the Citadel Algo Max, then essentially they can get all the coins that we look at on the top 50 coin list if they so choose. So yeah, that'll be a fun one, just to kind of show you a little bit about how the sausage is made and how to understand how to work with that. And then, yeah, we go into supply and demand on-chain analysis, which is another way of looking at, there's a bunch of different ways to look at on-chain analysis, but with this one in particular, we're more looking at tokenomics, I guess, than what we have in the past. So that's, I think, pretty interesting and it's like a practical skill set that you can use.
Very time consuming, but very practical.
Yeah, I mean, and you're usually looking at top level stuff on that anyways. Because when you go in deep into it, it is time consuming. But then the fundamental analysis of memes to RWAs from zero to hero. This one I believe might be Miguel.
Are you talking about the fundamental analysis of memes to RWAs, Charlie?
No, I said something completely different.
Okay, well, never mind. Sorry. So on August 13th, hopefully that's a Friday. No. We'll be talking about FA, the evolution of kind of fundamental analysis in this cycle. And guess what? FA, if I were to put like in terms of how strong fundamentals were in the 2025 cycle versus the 21 cycle, I would say fundamental analysis was somewhere between an 8 and a 9 in 21. It went down to about maybe like a 5 in 2025 cycle. So it went down quite a lot. It's because of the advent of memes, and it became much more hype. But I mean, FA kind of evolved in a way where like I ended up essentially adding more kind of behavioral economics and kind of just essentially just kind of human behavior to it and kind of the red pill to it. And it was very profitable, but I was kind of disgusted in a way because essentially I was just kind of guessing what monkeys were doing and which way attention was going. But that's a lot of like how money works anyway. And this cycle, we have much more Wall Street coming in now towards like 2024. We actually started getting some real numbers. We started getting the first ETF by BlackRock and a myriad of other ETFs or other basically, I don't know what were they called again? Like they weren't ETFs, but they essentially were ETFs. Like where Barry Shilbert had. Like
with before the ETFs launched, right? The Grayscale. What was that?
It's Bitcoin Trust, but like it was,
the Bitcoin Trust. That's what it was.
Yeah, so they had like they kind of jerry rigged the sort of things. Like it wasn't an ETF, but it was.
Yeah,
and they converted them now into ETFs, and now we have official ones. We have real reported numbers, and it's big corporations, and it's corporations that have a lot of people that are in 401ks or self-directed IRAs or basically just investment accounts. Right now, could just open up a brokerage and like, oh, I can buy this ETF and own some spot BTC. And Ethereum eventually, right? And now that's maturing a little bit, and now the industry is going more towards the RWA side, real world assets, which is like, this is what I'd explained a lot in 2025, is all RWAs are total bullshit. They're real. It's just what they're promising doesn't come to fruition until a cycle later. And this is something that I learned a lot from 17. A lot of the promises in 17 didn't come to fruition until 2021. But a lot of the stuff that Ethereum wanted to do, it didn't come out until late 2020. And technically early 2020, but like took all of 2020 for people to really like, wow, I can use on chain, I can do smart contracts, I can use a DEX. This is crazy. Uniswap, like MetaMask, whoa, like the actual invention of like actually what crypto is today. That's why I said like FA was really important in the 21 cycle, because it was like, wow, like if you learn all this stuff and you learn like what a wallet is and actually own your own custody, and you can even use Aave, which was brand new at the time. This is crazy. And then all that stuff was promised in kind of like where they were trying to come out during 17.
Yeah.
It just was too early.
Yep.
So this is the thing that it just usually when a coin comes out, like a lot of this AI stuff that we're talking about right now, we will get some real use case out of it. But like in the 2033 cycle, it's really going to be on.
Yeah. It's like we're in the imagination phase and they're seeing what they can do with it. And then in the next cycle, this next one that we're coming into, okay, they start making some interesting things, and the one after that, oh shit, now all these guys are competing like crazy.
It's real. It's really real. You'll see very good glimmers of it, of like where it could possibly go. Is in 2028 on 2029, you will see like, oh, because that's 3 years from now. So AI is moving fast. You will start seeing a lot of like bots that are actually trading at a decent volume, and you're like, wow, these tools are cool. We might be playing around. We might have our own like AI bot app that we're all using now. You don't know. We could be like, wow, this is like we'll see the beginnings of it in 27, and then we'll start experimenting in 28, and we are like, I use it every fucking day in 2029. That's totally how it could go. And so this is why it's really important. And then on top of that, we have central bank digital currencies actually turning on for the first time during this cycle, and we have every corporation and their mom making a stable coin. And so if they're not making their own country's backed digital currency, they're making their own they're making a stable coin for their currency that's more of like on top of Ethereum. And then also they're just making dollar-backed stable coins because it's a very profitable business.
Yes.
So yes and yes and yes and yes. And it's awesome. And also, like, I'm not going to talk too much for Charlie here about like technical analysis, but also like there has been an evolution in technical analysis for how even to chart meme coins because beforehand, you guys understand, like we used to say this in 21 with a very serious face that like there was almost no point of buying a coin under $500 million market cap. It really was like they would almost all go to shit. Or by the time it got to $500 million, nuke down, it's over.
Yeah.
So like how spoiled we were. So we usually by the time we're like, okay, this is starting to be for real, let's get in. Sometimes we get into coins at 300 million, but like we would jump into stuff and it would have a much more established chart, much more history. Like it's had a boom and bust already a couple of times. So like it was much more of like an adolescent sort of like young adult chart versus we're playing around with like it's kindergartners to like fucking like I mean they just came out the womb.
Yeah, like crack cocaine, right?
And it took a minute to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And how to like now we've done it so many times we're a lot better at it. I mean, I never thought. I mean, we joke around about the 1 day chart or the 15-day chart, the 1 minute chart. It's not so. Yeah, it's still funny, but it's not so.
Yeah, for some of the memes, you do got to go down to the 4 hour and some the 1 hour, but then you got to be in and out real quick, right?
Yeah.
So
when I personally like the 15 minute when it's new,
right?
And then later on, you can go to the 1 hour. It eventually gets to the point where like finally I can do the dailies.
Yeah.
And I'm using much more dailies, but like it's good to like. Charlie says, zoom when in doubt, zoom out and check like what's the monthly,
right?
So and it's really cool when Charlie like actually shows like, well, let's go to the. I think you still stay to monthlies, but like you can go to year, you can go really zoom back and like the long term is
for Bitcoin you can do that because it's all old now, right?
Yeah.
For a lot
I'm
of
only 17.
Yeah, old enough to create havoc. But what do you call it? They there's not a lot of assets in crypto that have matured to that point, right?
Right.
So it is interesting to see. I mean, Bitcoin, if you look at the 1 year moving average as an example, really you can make a lot of money when you buy it when it's under the 1 year moving average, and when you sell it when it's some decent amount above.
Exactly. And William here, he says the crash out course doesn't start until after the CMC. That's correct. So once we're done with webinars here on August 18th, we'll have a few days off. And then we'll start. Before that, before the 14th and stuff, we'll have a webinar list and stuff for the crash out course. But we do space out the webinars much more for the crash out course, and we do have a lot more flash webinars. Like just as an example, like we started sales for this on the 10th of this month. We were doing webinars on the 9th. The day before. That's how long we really took care of the crash out course. Like we gotten so many compliments about this last crash out course because we literally like anytime there's a major event or something, we thought like we spaced these out and we did a lot of webinars for the crash out. So shout out to the crash out course. Of course, we're still on Boogie, man. Fucking too cool, too legit to quit, man. What are you talking about, man? But that typically happens on these streams for the FOMC meetings. I mean, I think my longest one's like 4 hours and a half or something.
Yeah.
Like. But that was some major news. We had cuts. I mean, there was a lot to talk about. Then.
Yeah. And Warsh doing his thing, not worried about the people who want him to cut. Hike. So good to see him holding his ground.
The effects of Moxie. Oh, bro, don't tell me that, bro. Be careful with that fucking peptide, bro. That shit is dangerous, man. I didn't want to believe Boogie on this, but it's real. Like Moxie really works, but man, it's like you could have an allergic reaction to it very badly. Be fucking careful, man. But after that, right? We go with making money with AI. Charlie, you want to explain that one a little bit?
Yeah, so we go into all the different ways you can make money with AI, whether it's trading coins in the AI sector in crypto, yielding on them, or whether it's using AI tools to make your life and business more efficient, to do a side hustle, to change jobs. We've already gotten a couple people I've seen in the chat for the main course talking about, like, if I did change my job, it would be a really big move. So, like, what are the things I can do with AI in between that first to try to maximize where I'm at, and then maybe consider making that big move, down the line once you plan for it.
Which is very valid.
Which is valid. Extremely valid, right? Yeah. So we're talking about all those different things, giving people ideas. And in the past ones, we've done it for over a year now with AI in the Crypto Mindset course. In the past ones, we've always had a good handful of people that end up making more money one way or another by utilizing the information in the AI section. So we'll also include some of the pre-recorded webinars for previous AI ones to get your juices flowing, to get the, if you've never done AI anything or not much, to get you a better kind of like way to operate it. And then also, how to scale up your knowledge.
Exactly. Boom. And then we talk about TradFi chains, which is very interesting. We've always had TradFi chains to a certain extent, right? But they were like useless IPOs back in 2017 that went to zero. Fucking EOS, I'm talking about you. True. It got my ass. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't sacrifice, but I definitely bought the token. But there's kind of a revelation here, is that Base and Solana are kind of on the same team, and you have Robinhood chain and Crypto.com on the same team. So you kind of have a Pepsi Cola rivalry, or kind of Bloods versus Crips is probably more accurate, in the TradFi chains. And it's gonna be very interesting where like Solana and Base are much more like, can I even say this? Like, this sentence doesn't even feel good saying this. Like, decentralized and much more like DeFi, versus the other two are much more TradFi. Like traditional TradFi, where like, closed box systems, even though they have their sandbox, it's pretty closed off, where like Base is very, like, you can move money in and off of Base. There's a lot of bridges, and it has a lot of synergy with Ethereum. And even though Solana is competing against Ethereum, they have tons of bridges, and they're pretty interconnected to Ethereum as well. So so it's kind of like, I don't know. It's sort of like daywalkers versus vampires. I don't know. Like, I think that's the best explanation for it. But that's TradFi chains. And then we go 2-day break. There's a lot of information right there, right? Then we're back on the top DeFi chains. We talk about every DeFi chain that's a native crypto chain, like Pulse Chain, Sonic, Ethereum, technically Arbitrum and OP, but those are kind of TradFi as well, slightly. I'd say Arbitrum is, but not OP, and many other chains. We're going to talk about a lot of chains in there, and so there's a lot to talk about in there. And then we have a mystery guest, which is a mystery, but usually it is a person that works in the crypto industry, and either as a token founder or the lead of a very large project. We've had a lot of very important people through the years that have been the mystery guests that have come on. We've also had outside guests as well, like Rollo Tomasi, Fresh and Fit. I believe we had Waller one time as well, and a couple other people. But we always have some cool guests and stuff. But the mystery guest is a crypto-related one, when we do have other like guest webinars of other people, but those are more like bonus ones that will happen later in the quarter. And then we go on to fast versus slow money. What to do with I put a bunch of money into a meme coin. It pumped. I made a bunch of money. Do I just leave it there, Charlie?
No.
What?
Take profit.
What's that? We'll show you how to take profits and how much, and good rules of thumb. And also how to grow that slow money, because that slow money really, if you give it enough time over a cycle, that slow money becomes some real money. Some real money. Where like over 3 years, that slow money on a good move, like, wow, Bitcoin had a really good move today. It's gone up more than I make in a week. It's gone up more than I make in a month. I'm up more than I make in my yearly in my job. And we'll show you how to basically take profits, get control of your psychology, and how to put some of that fast money in the slow money, that you can later use that slow money to go put some more money back in the fast money. It's synergy, baby.
That sounds fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun. And the funnest webinar, I would say, the final AMA. This is the party, or it's usually our longest webinar. be there or be square. We
Right.
usually it's super fun. We also have a lot of like traditions and videos that we do all the time that, you know, we do this for alumni all the time and stuff like that. It's fun, and we answer a lot of questions, and it's we still will, don't worry, we still will have flash webinars throughout the quarter for the regular crypto mindset course, but we will have, you know, there will be a little bit of a break here, because after the break we come back to the crash up course. So what are you guys waiting for, man? Believe in yourselves. That's right. But put it back on us, Kyle.
And one other last thing I wanted to mention was for the 5-year Citadel, just FYI, we will be.
Oh, yeah.
Just wanted to say it one more time. We're having the, I don't even know what you want to call it, but we're having a call, right? Should you choose to accept your mission. We'll have that call tomorrow after our show. So we'll probably do a show from like 3 p.m. And probably finish by 5 or so.
Yep.
And then this is Pacific Standard Time, and then we will have the super secret Citadel 5-year full cycle participant alpha group call. I think that's what we're calling it. So it should be a fun one. There's a handful of guys in there that are going to be getting some interesting scoops, and that recording. So get in right now into the 5-year Citadel if you want to be a full cycle participant, and if you do want 2 free crypto mindset courses and 2 free crash out courses that you can use absolutely at any time, as Miguel would say, the golden ticket. And no
matter what future prices, if we increase the price on the courses, you are locked in.
Yes, and you're locked into the Citadel as well. So and then you got that group that'll give enough information, I think, to pay more than for this over time. So it's a good way to get in. I'd say if you want to be on that call, get in the next, tonight, basically, before tomorrow morning. And if you would like a recording of that call, it will be available for the next 1 week, and then it will self-destruct.
Boom. So with that, you guys, thank you so much for joining us, man. We'll be here with you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad hour. We actually will be going on the Sartain report right now, and I would say about 30 minutes.
Yep.
So see you there.
You buy this for $39.99. Guess what, folks? You take the L away. You put a W there, baby. You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks. Let me tell you something. You buy this set at $39.99, baby. You're the cock of the walk, man. You walk into the bar and you just find the hottest chick and you go, you, me. Guess what? She says, why would I go out with you? Because I bought the deal on Wild West Deals for $39.99. That's why. She says, can I go home with you? That's how simple it is. That's how it works. That's what this set brings to the table. Because you know what she sees? She sees a man who knows what he wants. She sees a man who says, good deals don't get by me, baby. I move. I act quick. I act now. I go to wildwestdeals.com. Boom. That's why you're hanging with chicks all night long. That's why you got guys like Michael Jordan calling you, wanting to hang out with you, baby. Because you bought it for $39.99.